All right, I wanted to jump on to this one and get it going, guys. I know a lot of people have been streaming a lot of baseball lately, and I try not to stream when other people are, but this time I figured people can just go back and look, and maybe I'll start doing that more anyhow. So this is Pocket Pennant Run 4.0.1, as it says, and one of the things we'll be looking at mostly tonight is Board Game Companion Lite, but I do know that a lot of people, and I've just posted in the Facebook group that we're live. But this will be kind of, we're going to go over the whole game again as we do, but showing you especially how the Board Game Companion Lite works. So this is the first iteration of it, and it's going to be expanding, as Craig says. So thanks go out, of course, to Craig Harris and Matt McKeever, who are the developers of Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. And a big shout out to Paul Fay, who is he's the beta tester, software tester, whatever you want to call it. So for the uninitiated among you, Pocket Pennant Run Baseball began life completely as a cards and dice game. The first fully fledged baseball simulation that fits in the palm of your hand. So as far as the print version goes, either you're buying the print and play PDF or you're buying the physical game, it's version 3. So the physical game is not version 4, but that doesn't matter because that's the cards and dice game. All right. So, and it's superb. I have it. And in fact, you have to buy either the print and play PDF version or that, but you get access to the software, which is free with your purchase. And it's amazing. And it's just getting better all the time, as the Beatles sang on the Sgt. Pepper album, if you want to check it out. Anyhow, so this update 4.0, the previous update came out on Friday, and then Craig immediately took it down. There were some issues with it. So this is 4.01 Jasper. So this is a completely new install. If you have earlier versions, the Helix versions, version 3, you can still play them. Just remember whatever shortcuts you're using, whatever folder you're playing from. Now, really important, I didn't do this because I didn't have a lot of custom teams made that are, you make in team management. For anybody that's installing 4.0 before or 4.01, Craig writes in the installation instructions in the welcome to Jasper, it's called. Before you launch this the first time, after you migrate your database file, you've got to get your database files in there from team management first and then launch this because it performs an update. Okay, that's the only thing that's really simple to do. For me, I just had a couple of those BATS teams typed in. They're easy enough to put back in, so I'm not going to worry about that. There's Dwayne Martz joining us. All right, so again, this software is free, and it now has a Board Game Companion Lite. 7 people already joining us. Thank you. So prior to Pocket Pennant Run, there were other games that would allow you to play whatever board game you were playing and input those results in the game. So the best among them before this release is Digital Diamond Baseball. Hey, there's cousin Ken Castro. Digital Diamond Baseball. And that's fun because that game has been around a long time. And Mark Cohen, what a great product you have. So there were other games that you could do it, but Digital Diamond was the first to be really system agnostic about it, meaning whatever gaming system you were using, you could just input in Digital Diamond Baseball. Now, the thing with Digital Diamond Baseball is you do play results by doing syntax. Tex Ags, here he goes. He says, semi unavailable currently, trying to listen, but be at your desktop soon. No worries, Tex. You can always go back and listen and watch later too. But you had to type in syntax. Nothing wrong with it. Dwayne Martz will attest to it. He's been doing some amazing projects in Digital Diamond Baseball using, typing in the syntax. Now, the other thing built in, there are certain things built into Digital Diamond Baseball syntax specifically for this game, specifically for Strat, for Apple, whatever. So you had all the syntax. This one is striving to become even more system agnostic by doing away with syntax altogether. doing with away altogether. It's all point and click. So you can roll the dice, and what we'll do if we have enough people here tonight, which I think we'll do, we're gonna pick a couple teams, but we're gonna have somebody, or maybe somebody wants to come on mic, or if not, they're just gonna roll something up in their game, and we're gonna play this. We'll play this using the board game companion and show you how it works, because it's really neat. So now you can just do steals, you can do whatever straight up. Before, right, you were using this. So why is this nice? Okay. Now let me say that. Am I saying I've been talking about Digital Diamond Baseball a lot? That's because I think these two games both deserve a place in your game library, and here's why. Let me get back to Digital Diamond Baseball for some concluding thoughts, and then we'll devote the rest of this to Pocket Pennant Run. And I think Dwayne is better suited to talk about Digital Diamond anyhow. So Digital Diamond Baseball gives you two baseball engines right now. I mean, Status Pro, you can choose that. But as of version 13, which is coming out in, I'm guessing, well, it's supposed to be March, will have the full Status Pro baseball engine built into it. So you can choose, if you're doing a season replay, to do either the Digital Diamond's native engine, which is really good, or you can choose Status Pro Baseball. So, of course, the nice advantage of that is, let's say you choose the Status Pro Baseball option, you can roll up your Status Pro game or fast action card your Status Pro, whichever version of Status Pro you play, and then sim the other games using the Status Pro engine. Really nice. Okay. Now, this one, again, I think, we'll see what the expansions are going to be, but right now, all I can talk about is Boardgame Lite, because this is what is out, and it's nice. Nice thing about this, if you're doing a season replay, doesn't matter. History Maker Baseball, Strat, APA, whatever, you'll be able to use it in this. And as it expands, and I'm guessing probably for more of the rare plays that you're going to find in any other game that's out there, I don't care what it is, I'm guessing that those would be the things. Clinton Parks joining, and he says one of his girlfriends is on another channel. Well, you should probably listen to her, and you can check this out later. I'd rather listen to a girlfriend than me. Anyhow, nice thing about this, again, no syntax. But I'm going to run very quickly just through, for the real new people to this game, very quickly, how to navigate what each thing does really quickly. Team management. This is where you can do things like create fantasy teams. You can import teams that you've created, like the APA Bats League. Maybe you have something in Action PC Baseball, let's say an all-time greats franchise league, and you want to work with that in here. This is what team management does. Okay, so if you were to add a team, you get quite a few options here. So you can add a team from the league database. It should say, databases. There's more than one database in this game. So this is this is closer to out of the park baseball in that way. All right. You can add a team manually or from league sheets. You can create a team from league database players, create a fantasy team, or create a blank team. So you have a lot of options where that the focus of tonight's video is not to go through each of these. Okay, just know that you can do this. I'll just do the first one to show you how easy it is. If we do add a team from the league databases, we click go. So let's say you wanted to play a bunch of cross-era stuff. All right, and so in honor of Ken Castro, we're going to start here with 1884. Okay, let's type in 1884. All right, and then we would look for the Providence Grays. Okay, and we are getting to the fun, the really cool part, the cards and dice bit, I promise you. There they are. We add them, and they're in there. Now I can do this, load team. There they are. Now from here, if you want, you can do things like create lineups, and a nice thing that I'm liking now, you don't even have to drag and drop to create lineups. You can just blip, and there's your lineup. Your lineup is ready to go, and you can save as many of these lineups as you want. Now, I didn't check. I want a pitcher to hit in this to hit in this lineup, so I forgot that. So I'm going to do that, and just like that, it fixed it. Notice it took DH out. It counts for everybody. So I could save this lineup, and I keep generating lineups. And maybe what I can do is say, well, maybe against righties or lefties, I want this guy to hit in this position, whatever. Save lineups, but this is finally working the way it should work, and I like that. Okay. All right. So we'll add another team. And again, we'll do from team database. Go here. Let's pick now from more modern era, right? 1934. And let's put in the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay. And then we'll get out of this part. I just want to show you how easy this is. Boom. Okay. All right. Now, if I go back up here, now I've got the Cardinals. There they are. Load them. And we give it a sec. And there they are. And again, if I want the pitcher to hit, then it's going to always save that pitcher spot, whatever that is. And I'm going to create a lineup. And this is not the game's fault. This is me, because I'm designing a website for a business. So excuse me for that, guys. This is my own crash. All right. All right. So anyhow, select team, St. Louis Cardinals. Let's load them in. All right. And then, again, this is me, because I know this works. We saw it work. This is my fault. I should have rebooted. So sorry, Craig. Sorry, man. So let's just do this. Load them, and let's just make it do a lineup here. If it does it this time, we'll just go on. There we go. And then I'll just do this. And there we go. So now this time it didn't crash. But I was a little bit, this wasn't working correctly before, but now you see it is. Joe Medwick batting where he should be. And of course you got Ripper Collins up there. But again, if you don't want to do these lineups, you can always change them around. Anyhow, crashes are my fault. And you just keep doing that. Maybe you want to add in some Negro League teams. You can do it. Whatever you want. That's team management in a nutshell. Okay. Other thing that you can do in team management is that you can add team, but when you create a team from league database players, this would be the thing that if you wanted to create a Bats league or an all-time greats franchise league, so all-time great Pirates, Giants, Mets, whatever, this is where you go. Right. Dizzy was hitting because we left that in there. And Dizzy was, he was good. So the way I got around the little crashing I was having tonight, and I think that's just my computer's fault because I was doing all this work, so it's my fault, was I generated the lineup, then clicked, I want a pitcher to hit in this inning, then you saw it just readjusted. So, but again, right here, you can see these are all the databases. So I mostly just do Major League stuff, some Negro League stuff, whatever. So, but I could do here 1934, and then I can search player, Josh Gibson, boom, add player. All right. Now I can switch this up here, go to Major League Baseball, and pick 1969, and hell of a battery there. How about that? Tom Seaver and Josh Gibson on the same team. And you can keep doing this for whatever databases you want. I can go in and have John McGraw playing at third base if I wanted to do that. Okay. I'm just doing this part for the newbies. All right. So 1894, start typing. John McGraw. Well, we got the makings of a hell of a team right there. Look at that. You got Josh Gibson, Tom Seaver, John McGraw all on the same team, right? And you just keep doing this. Enter a year. The year doesn't have to do anything with normalization. You just give it a year, a team name, and you'll be able to identify the teams that you've made because it adds a plus sign at the end in team management, okay? So that's another way to do it. If you just do create a fantasy team, it's all fictional players, which I'm not interested in, so I'm not going to show you how to do it. All right. Close that. This does just what it says. Print selected player team cards and season cards. That's self-explanatory. Stat facts, not going to spend too much time on this. This is like having Baseball Reference offline. So you can search just by a player to get his complete every season stats. You can search a team by year. And remember, just always remember two things. Select the proper database, because this isn't just one Major League Baseball database. It's actually three, right? Major League Baseball 1920 to 2024, Historical Major League from 1871 to 1919, and the Negro Leagues from 1920 to 1948. So you have three recognized Major League databases in here, okay? And then plus you have Japanese baseball, Korean baseball, All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, and one season of NCAA baseball. All right. If you want to research a team, so you just click the radio button, team, pick 1980, and then just go down and look for the whoever you want. So in this case, we could do Philadelphia Phillies and just search stats, and there they are. There's the 1980 Phillies. So great way to do some quick research while you're in the game or what have you. Okay. First player drafted on any team like that has to be the 1956 Mickey Mantle says. Is there any way to create tournaments? So there are people that are doing tournaments. So what you would do, Tex, in that case, there's not, I know that this is, in the last part, before I answer Tex's question, down here, this is where you can get down into searching player stats, like the top 50 people who led, top 50 third basemen who led in home runs from, let's say, 1965 to 1995 with 25 or more home runs in a season. So you can really get down here and set up some nice search criteria. Okay, now, there's not a schedule editor yet for this. So what I would suggest you do is through team management text is you would create a bunch of teams, and then you could use, like, if you wanted to use the schedule editor now, the Park Baseball, you can find schedule editors online, like for tournament editors, things like that. And that's what I would do, because there's a couple guys in the Facebook group, which is about 750 people right now. One guy's doing a 90s tournament, another one did 1970s, and I suspect that's how they're doing it. I know that Craig is talking down the line about a schedule editor. Right now, there isn't one, but very easy to set up, and then you just play the games, right? So when you want to actually play those games, then what you're going to do is you go into this module called Game Sim, and then you would just set up both your teams on each side. And so I can't select a home there. I could. So I could do like Providence Grays versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's say this is game one of their tournament. So I could give it whatever game ID I wanted. And then I don't have any lineups saved or whatever. And, you know, the pitchers, the rotations, you set up all this and then boom, go. And you're ready to rock. Okay. So we're able to game sim. Box score replay we'll get back to in a minute. So we also have our quick play. This is any two teams from the databases against each other. Okay. Game day replay. This is the thing that where you can load a game that you already had in progress. You had to leave. And if you click no, it's just going to load up these all-time movie greats and stuff, like the movie players, whatever, from Fields of Dreams, from whatever. I can't remember all the teams, but they have the movie info up here. Okay. Then you've got about. This will let you know as far as, like, you know, the version and who to, you know, contact and all that kind of stuff for issues. Now let's get into how this works. So you're going to notice right off, this looks different for selecting dates, which is really cool. I like this. You do a little bit of clicking and you're ready to rock. Or you can do a previously saved season, which I already, before I came online, I have 1952, 1965. Those are already saved, as well as 1909. So as soon as you do this and select a team or load a season schedule, you have these saved seasons. They will save automatically. To restart a season, you just delete it. That simple. But here's how this works. So if we wanted to play 1980, we would just click first the century. And then in this case, it's just going to be 80. You see, it just, and I could just type in 1980 too. So that's fine. Okay, we could load the season schedule or the team schedule. And down here, this is the one you pick, we picked, that I love so much. Random date from baseball. It'll give you the, again, all the games that were played that day. You can replay any game in this the humongous database. I think there's close to 200,000 games and as played lineups in baseball history. So knock yourself out. All right, so 1980, and we'll select the Philadelphia Phillies again as for cousin Ken. We should be nice and do something for Dwayne, but he keeps mentioning that center fielder. Hi, I'm just kidding you. We love him. We love him. Philadelphia Phillies. Let's just load the team schedule. So there we go. This is the 1980s Phillies, 1980 as played, including the World Series, the historical scores, dates, as played lineups. All right. So we're just going to pick opening day here. Phillies against the Expos. All right. Now, for any games that you pick, guys, you can just run a box score sim. So if I click this, it's going to just play the game in the background and give us a replay score. You already know that. Print play games, what we want. We don't standings. This is once we've started. All right. Box scores. These are for games that are completed. Stats. Again, this will track stats all the way through. Okay. Now notice here what's cool is we can load an entire season schedule, but we're good. So we're going to do this, and we're going to print play game, and then I'm going to show you some of the changes. All right. So I'm not going to do. I showed you guys a trick before on how to change the fatigue rating for starting pitchers. I'm not going to worry about that for 1980. So Steve Rogers, Steve Carlton, both fatigue 7, good enough. Welcome to modern baseball. Play game day. All right, now here's where we get into it. The board game companion. All right, I'm not going to touch any of these dice. Now, that does create the score sheet for you already, which is really nice. But if you still want to keep score by hand, then you don't have to use this. I would still suggest just doing it anyhow. Batter up in case you miss something. Computers might only be able to count to 1, but they don't make the same sort of oversights that we do. Okay, so right now we got Ron LaFleur up. I don't know. Hey, happy Wednesday, David. David, by the way, guys, excellent out of the park baseball broadcast the other day. I can't wait for you to do one live, but you did a great job, David. Really glad you have it. So yeah, text saying box score sim does give you an option to do full sim, right? But if you click quick sim, you get a result with no stats. No, because quick sim. No, let's make sure we're talking about the same thing, Tex. Okay. Quick sim. Well, I have too many windows open now. Let's table that and we'll go back. Okay. Because quick sim, right? Oh yeah. Okay. So full sim creates it. Quick sim. So I don't think that's a big issue. For me, I see what you're talking about now. I thought you meant because there is a thing called quick sim in this where you can just take any two teams, play them against each other. Why I don't think it's a big deal is because you get the choice. If you're saying, look, I just want to score, I don't give a damn about the stats, I just want a quick sim, but you get the option. And the full sim just takes a few more seconds to run, and then it does track stats. So me personally, I'm politely, my friend, agreeing to disagree on that if we could. Because if you didn't have the option, that would suck. But some people just, okay, I'll use RGO Network, for example. He uses Fast Score. That doesn't track stats, right? So he's playing whatever game he's playing, and he's rolling the dice, and that doesn't keep player stats. And there's a lot of guys that do that, okay? So it is if you're playing out. But if you're playing out as one team, there's also a way around that. So I'm going to jump back. I'm going to jump out of this, guys, and let's go back. All right, and let's do load the season schedule again. We'll just do 1980s. All right. So, all right, we have Mariners and Blue Jays. So, but we're going to play as the Phillies. So anything that's not Mariners, or anything that's not Philadelphia Phillies, we'll just play. So I'll just show one here, okay? So if we do run box score sim, All right. So yeah, QuickSim provide. He even tells you only a final score. Team strength numbers are calculated using player traits, which is then used as a modifier for final. But full game provides box scores and player stats. So full game sim, and it will run the full game sim. We just got to give it a minute. If sure it's running. Oh, I didn't. Oh yeah, there we go. Replay score was 5-4. Show the box score, and this time again. Oh my God, I gotta make sure to restart my computer before I do this. Stupid man I am. Stupid man that I am. All right, so let's pick, and it might be because I have two 1980s in here. I don't know. Let's do this, and let's load this. So, let me see. Show stats. Find a team. Canadian 1980. Let's go back out of this. I just don't want this to crash. I'm just trying to answer the question. So let's say I want to do Cincinnati Reds. Let me see. Where do I see? Where's the first Philadelphia Phillies? And I'm probably all right. Let's just go down to Brewers at Red Sox. Okay. Boop. And then all I have to do is run box score sim, full game sim. And now it's playing these games out, and it will keep stats and box scores and everything. If you do quick sim, yep, you're absolutely right. You're just going to get the raw score, and that's it. But it's going to keep these stats for these games so that you'll be able to look at the end. Okay, so then we have another series of games here. Well, we just finish up the 10th. When did the Phillies play this day? Oh, okay. So, all right. What didn't we do here? Okay, so we'll go from here. And I'm just going to use the shift key, and we're going to play out full sim these games, right? So run box score sim, full game sim. If we do quick sim, again, just to score. And it's playing out these 12 games and does it pretty quickly. Hey, there's Robert. You mention his name and he shows up. How you doing, Robert? He says, Imagine, John Lennon. That counts. Absolutely. Because they actually started working on that song. He's diddling about with that song a couple years before. But yeah, it counts anyhow as a Beatle, right? Good to see you, Robert. So, yeah, you can do that. And then we'll go into our Phillies expos so I can show you the board game Lite. Okay, so there we go. These games are played. They're done. I could replay one of these, but you can't full game sim them. You would have to go back in and actually play them out. But why would you want to? All right, now we're down. Every game is played at the beginning of the 1980 season up to the game, the Montreal Expos home opener against the Philadelphia Phillies on 11th April 1980. Click it. All right, and print play game. And we'll just give it a minute. And play game day. Okay, and again, score sheet's already made out. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. All right, now, I don't have any game systems here, so we're just going to mess around with this. So we've got Ron LaFlora, and we're playing a board game, okay? So when we're playing Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, I've got to click these dice and get a play result, okay? Well, with this, I don't have to. So let's say on a roll of the dice on some imaginary game, Ron LaFleur opens up with a base hit. Ron LaFleur's on. He's on. Okay, then all I have to do now is batter up. So what's nice about this is it keeps track. Okay, so now Rodney Scott is up there. But let's say that we want to steal with Ron LaFleur. Well, the old way, if you're just playing Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, right, you would have to keep rolling till you got a steal. But this way, if I just click, look at this. This is for Pocket Pennant Run. But see this tab right here, Board Game Assistant? Look what you got here. Steal with an error. So let's say you roll the dice and Ron LaFleur stole second, but it was a throwing error. So he's able to make it to third. Steal with error. Was he caught stealing? Picked off. Rundown. Advanced runner, remove runner. Okay, so Ron LaFleur, straight steal. He's safe. He's always going to be safe when you click that. Okay. Like lineups, of course, the lineups are, yeah. What do you mean they finally made pre-made scores used for the game? They've always had that. Always had this. Please click the score sheet. You have open in order to save the next iteration. It's always been that. Always been that. So it's there. Okay. Now, you're going to have to, again, you don't have to use that. So no, they haven't. Okay. Yeah. So it keeps, it always has generated the lineups. It always has. I don't know what you've been playing, my friend, but it always has created the lineups. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff and it's on there. So, all right, so we got Ron LaFleur in second. So Rodney Scott's up. Let's say that Rodney Scott. So here you could just do these outs here, or you could do manual outs. Okay, so let's do where he grounds, and here's how you would combine the two. Okay, so let's say that Rodney Scott grounds to first. He just grounds to first. Boom. Okay, I've selected. Why have I selected? What am I doing wrong here? Because I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Boom. Okay, so he's out, but Ron LaFleur, we want to advance him on the play. Board game assistant, advanced runner, and Ron LaFleur advanced by player. So now he moved to third on that play. Let's just say that LaFleur saw that maybe our first baseman here, Pete Rose, might have had to back up a little far, and we know Ron LaFleur had some serious wheels. He makes it to third. Okay. So yeah, it still generates. You didn't put your own. Oh, you're talking about lineups. Yes, they generate lineups on quick play games and stuff, Sean. Now I get you. Yes, and it works. So really nice. You don't have to create your own lineups anymore if you don't want to. Okay, so you guys are getting it. All right, so we're going to go ahead. The reason I'm just saying to click the batter up is that helps you. I mean, you're flipping your card. You don't really have to. So Andre Dawson, let's say that Andre just base hit. Boom. And a run scores. Okay. Now let's see if it'll. Yep. See it. You still have to advance the batter. So that's fine. So batter up. Okay. So Ellis Valentine is up. All right. And now Andre Dawson's on first. And no offense, Andre, just to show people. So we're going to do steal with error, safe. Okay. And error on the play, runners advance. So with one click now, right? So the Hawk is over here on third, hanging out. And, again, he could be caught in a rundown between third and home. We could do these things, the rare pickoff play to third, whatever. Okay. So we have one down. Here's Ellis Valentine, and we're going to select an out. So this is a he just strikes out. Okay. So automatically advances, two down, batter up. Larry Parrish is up. Larry Parrish is going to fly out to end the inning. Okay. So again, we'll just select our out, and he is going to just poke it out there into left field, and that's it. So Montreal leads Philadelphia 1-0. We go to the bottom of the first. Again, for those of you new to the game, color coding all over the place. Green is the best. So in this case, excellent defense. If it's a base runner, you'll see a green circle. That means fastest runner. Blue. So this would be like excellent. Blue would be very good. Yellow, good, average, whatever. And then red is like, yeah, not so good. All right. So Pete Rose up there. And Pete Rose is going to open it up with a single. Pete Rose is up. All right. Or he's on there. Okay. Bake McBride. Notice I'm not touching these dice at all. I'm rolling fake dice. All right. Bake McBride's up, and we're going to have Bake McBride. He's gonna double. He's just gonna double to right. Now, do we want Bake McBride to stretch against Ellis Valentine? Okay. If you don't want that to happen and you're playing board game, just click no. And then maybe roll, like if you have a decide or die or something that says you can do that. Remember, you can always advance any runners. So my advice would be, at least for right now, if you because you don't want to take a pocket pennant run chance, you're not playing pocket pennant run, click no. Okay, so a run scored, all right, on that double. If I would have said, yeah, I wanted him to try to stretch it, and if he's thrown out, my only option would have been to be able to reset the at bat. But let's say during the play, you saw that, hey, McBride was able to advance to third. Well, then what you do is just click, right? Go to board game assistant. And again, just advance the runner. And he's on third. So you're cool now. All right. All right. Here's Gary Maddox. Now, Gary Maddox, again, whatever we want him to do here, just so that this doesn't go on all night, we're going to have him just ground 4-3. Okay. And then batter up. And Mike Schmidt, well, we know what he's going to do, don't we? Just because. Boom, home run. 2 runs scored. And again, I'm just pretending I'm rolling dice here. Okay. So for colorblind folks, that's something that you might want to talk to Craig about, for those of you who have like red-green color blindness or whatever kind of color blindness you might have, and see if that can, how that works out. All right, here's wheels. All right, and again, we're not using, the only thing we're using in Pocket Pennant Run is the batter up. Okay, you don't have to worry about, you're not going to be dealing with anything as far as, I mean, so right now, for instance, Steve Rogers could give up 10 runs, and he might be showing fatigue here, but because we're not using the Pocket Pennant Run engine, we're using the Board Game Companion. So the Board Game Companion doesn't pay attention to fatigue. Those fatigue rules, anything you have in your game, whether it's Strat, APA, whatever, that's what you pay attention to. This is just a way for you to use to basically record results without doing manual entry, and to play a season. So you're playing APA, and then for the other games, if you're still using APA and if you're one of those crazy people that can roll up 1,000 or 1,300 games or something like that, then more power to you. You can record those scores in manual entry, or use Pocket Pennant Run to sim out the rest of the games of the season, just like we have been doing, just like you would in Digital Diamond Baseball. Okay. All right. So Luzinski's up here, and Luzinski, this is going to be a just a drop K. But you can also do a drop K where the batter's safe, the batter's out. So if you have that contingency in there, you can. All right, here's Bob Boone. So 2 down, and Steve Rogers. Steve, well, we got to get him on here first. Oh, well, no, look, balk. Okay, let's get him on first. Let's get him on first. So let's do a hit, single. Okay, so now batter up. Okay, we're going to go other. You've rolled it up, and he's balked. Well, now the player's moved to second. Yeah, 1,300, nothing for Dwayne. So, guys, you can see there's no typing. Now, let's see what options are available. First, under others, wild pitch ball, hard ground ball, catcher interference, runner interference, pickoff, and a rundown. So you may have that in your board game companion. This also works in Pocket Pennant Run. Okay, what are the hit options? Pretty much anything you're going to run into in baseball, including a couple things that aren't hits. So for a hit, let's say you want to intentionally walk a batter. Well, you can just intentionally walk the batter. Boom, he's on. Whether it's Pocket Pennant Run or any game you're playing. Okay, let's go back to hits. So you got a double, runners advance a base. Double, runners advance 2 bases. And then this is going to be, single. Then, right, single, double, triple, to left, center, right. Do you want them to stretch? That's what the plus means. Okay. So single to right. Do you want the runner to try? But again, if you're using the Board Game Companion, I would just pay attention to these 2. Okay. Or if you want it recorded on your score sheet that it was a single to right, you can do that and just say, don't stretch. And then if your dice roll advance or your fast action card advance in the board game that you're playing says that he does advance, then you can do it. Okay, so we got doubles, triples, home runs, walks, intentional walks, hit by pitch, 1 base error, and 2 base errors, okay, for hits. Outs is where it gets really fun, because you have a drop strike batter safe, batter out. So he makes it. He gets down the line. He's safe. Boom. It'll automatically happen. Strike him out and a stolen base, strikeout double play. So strike him out, throw him out. Here's all your ground ball plays. These are ground ball plays then with runners on. These are unassisted. These are unassisted, but when you have a runner on, so it's going to be a grounder to second, lead runner. So this is like fielder's choices are going to happen in here. Fly balls, straight up fly balls. These are going to be, again, tags. All right, this will fly to left. You want the runner to tag. And again, if you're playing pocket pennant run, this is a little bit more important. If you're playing your own game, advance the runner. Okay, if you don't want the pocket pennant run to roll its own dice in the background there. Lineouts, and then the most common double plays here, 5-4, 3-6, 4-3, 4-6-3, 3-6-3, and then a couple of the stranger ones. Okay, but if you need more, go to manual outs, and now you've got a lot more to choose from. So triple plays. If you notice back here, there's no way to record a triple play, but they're super rare. What if there was a 1-6-3 double play? Well, they're not listed here, but if you go to here, right, and then you could go to double play. So fielder 1 might be the pitcher. Fielder 2 is the shortstop. Where is it? Right, 1-6, and then double play fielder 3 is your first baseman and enter play. Now, I didn't advance the batter, so that's why that didn't work. But I just wanted you to see that you have pretty much any contingency for an out. Okay, so we could continue playing this game if we wanted. Under options, you can actually call a game. So dead ballers, that's cool. But I want to get to something more fun. Boost and slump a batter. Let's bring a batter up here for a second. We should have done this at the beginning of the game. But if we boost and slump a batter, this is really cool. And I'm just going to read it to you here. So one batter per team may be selected to receive a boost to their bat trait and become unaffected by the left-right split per game. So that's pretty cool, right? This batter should be a player on a streak. So think about that. If you really want to get into, say you're doing 1941 and you want to try to, so there's no guarantee to it, right? So this is strictly now this is not for the board game assistant. This is for pocket pennant run now, okay? Let's say you want to see whether this is not going to make DiMaggio guarantee he's going to hit safely in 56 games, or the Pete Rose or Wee Willie Keeler are going to hit safely in 44 games, right? But here, so anything that comes off left, right, it's going to be all. So this batter should be a player on a streak, but it's up to you, the manager. Batter will continue the boost until 3 or more consecutive outs. Once that is reached, she is no longer considered to be streaking and returns to normal ratings. You can also choose a batter in your team that's in a slump to their bat trait per game. This batter should be a player that's a slump, but again, up to you. Player will continue to be a slump until her first hit. So walks don't count, right? So it's a hit. We know that. Once that is reached, she considered no longer be slumping and returns to normal ratings. I think that's super, super cool. So if we wanted to, we could say that Mike Schmidt he gets a boost. All right, he's boosted. So now his card would change up. And let's say that Chris Spire over here is in a slump. And there we get a nice little indicator. Now, if Mike Schmidt through this game, and if you wanted to even use this for your, I don't see how this would work with board game companion, but in pocket pennant run, if Mike Schmidt, who is right now, he's on a tear, man. If he goes like 0 for 4 in this game, he's just going to drop back to normal. Okay. And so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and close this. You can call a game, and you can have a rain delay. All right. That means the game can be restarted and finished. You can have a rain out now in this game. So I don't know if I think there's some cards and dice games that do have rain outs, right? So you can just rain stoppage, game's over. You're playing in the dead ball era. How about you could have a tie game? All right. Or maybe you're playing like some really old rules, or you want to decide you're just going to have Japanese baseball, max innings. They play 9 innings because of the transportation system. So there are tie games, Regulation game called, game over. So the game was all right. You have run count differential, max run count differential reached, game over. So you can, a lot of things that you can set up here. Other managers were tired or some other reason, game over. So ways to call games. Pretty cool stuff. Let's see if there's anything else. Editing stadium info. So you can do this right in game now. You don't have to go back and mess around with it. So I could change the name of this ballpark, and I can select whether it's favorable to a hitter, pitcher, neutral, and that will affect that affects the park factor in the game. So I think it's really, really cool. No, let's finish this out with a just a ground out 5-4. Okay. So ground ball 5-4 doesn't matter. I mean, this is the third out. So or 5-3, whatever. I don't care. Let's just do 5-3. Doesn't matter. It's the third out. So that's how you use the board game companion. So you can just, just work with that when you have a runner on. So Gary Carter, we'll just do one more round just for everybody to see. Gary Carter gets a single. Okay. And then again, to advance Gary Carter for whatever reason, just when you go into this, select Board Game Assistant, and there are your choices. So that's it. That's how it works. It's really nice. I like it. And again, as Craig says, this is going to be expanded. So this is kind of like Board Game Lite. But I would say that except for really bizarre, and this does have rare plays in it if you're playing Pocket Pennant Run. So I'm not seeing any sort of weird rare plays yet. So for your board game for right now, you're just gonna make that notation anyhow. So it's not bringing in APA rules or strat rules. But then again, neither does Digital Diamond. Yeah, exactly. How about it, Tex? He says, nice, all for $14.95 or $24.95 for physical game. It's a no-brainer. Absolutely, my friend. Sean's saying it's really cool. And Sean, thank you. I didn't know what you meant by lineup generator or the lineup generator thing. So yes, it does do them, and it does it actually pretty well now. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. I've been really anxious to show you this. If I had planned it better, I would have asked somebody, hey, come on, Mike, roll up and let's push it to the limit and see what it can do. But I think you get the idea. You guys are smart. Click the score sheet. I don't know if the score sheet actually is. Let's see if it's doing anything. Yeah, it is. So I forgot to check the score sheet. Thank you. Look, there it is. Score sheet. And there we go. There's the home run. So it's going to keep score for you, whether you want to use the Pocket Pennant Run score sheet or not is up to you. But it does. I guess what would be nice, as I said earlier, is keep it, because you might make an oversight. Say, wait a minute, because I think it was David Baseball Demos. It was a couple weeks ago. There was confusion whether he was in the 8th or 9th inning. He's like, wait, my 8th or 9th inning. Well, the computer's going to know whether you're in the 8th or 9th inning, or whatever, or just any sort of weird thing that you got. So yeah, it just does all these nice things, man. It's great. So nice. It's what you wanted. It's a big question. How do we get to season compiled stats? So I haven't even looked at that. So let's see. All right, let's go ahead and I guess we'll save this game. So we exit, we'll be able to pick it up again. All right, let's look at, let's see what we have for standings. There we go. There's our standings. So the Orioles starting out at 2-0. Look at that. And the Cubbies at 2-0. And the Reds and Astros at 2-0. So we've got all of that so far. Runs for, runs against, games back, percentage. So again, very kind of whatever. But, and there we have, so we have basic stats and advanced stats. So, or more stats. So we can see that right now the Braves, and this is not sortable yet. I'm hoping at some point it will be. That would be really nice. But at a glance here, we can see that the Baltimore Orioles leading in runs scored, also in runs batted in. Let's see who's stealing bases. So Craig, hopefully you can make this a sortable thing, because I think people would really like that to see who's leading in what. So just a suggestion. I know you got a lot of work. So, wow, the Minnesota Twins actually stealing some bases. And nice to see triples being tracked. Yay. All right. So, and that was by the New York Mets. Let me see. 4 home runs. Chicago White Sox are swinging the lumber. Okay. So let's go out of here and let's pick a box score for Mets and Cubs. Hopefully I won't get a crash here. But again, I've been doing some intense work again tonight on this. Yep, I got a crash. So we'll leave this up. Just leave it alone. 14. Yep. There you go. So I'm gonna have to refire this up one more time, and it will be the last. Okay. So yeah, the crashes may be just because I was doing a lot of stuff beforehand, and it could be just there's still some crashes. I'm going to report what happened, when I was trying to do lineups and stuff like that, because that looks like a reproducible crash. But let me show Sean here. So team management, if I go to the 1934 Cardinals, okay, and load them up, there they are. If I click, and I'm going to leave this unchecked because I can reproduce this bug. So leave this unchecked first. This is to get around it until this is fixed. Do create a lineup. And then when you click this, it would take the pitcher out and just fix your lineup. And Medwick batting cleanup makes sense to me. But again, you can switch things around, but you can save this lineup. So I can save it. My lineup is complete. Lineup name, I can just call it lineup number 1. Click OK. And then I can switch batters and just keep saving lineups. But I like the fact that it does now generate lineups. It does them pretty well. And because I had that lineup saved, right? So I could go to Providence Grays, right? Load them up. And then, create a lineup. I want the pitcher to bat. Okay, save it. And I'm going to, again, I'll just call it 1. Okay, close. Now, the other thing I didn't do here, and I probably should, and I don't know if you can do it yet. Let's see. Let's see if we can set up rotations on this. You might have to set up your own, but that's no big deal. I don't think. Okay, so pitchers. Let me see. I don't see any way to, because we do create a lineup. I think that's just gonna, so it has nothing to do. So let's clear it. So you're gonna have to set up your own, set up your own pitching rotation, what have you. So, whatever. Okay. So screwed up. Crash was your fault. It happens. So click standings team. Then I think you get player stat. Let's try it. All right, let's try it. Again, as I said, I wanted to get on here as quickly as I could. And at least you guys are seeing the I didn't want to do that. That was my fault. Sean and I both have we're both screwing up here. All right, let's go to 1980. All right, and load saved. Okay, now what you're saying is here, and if you click standings, okay, so let's look at standings and click here. I'm not getting player stats. So we click standings team. Yeah, I'm not getting, that's not the way to show them. I think it's the way, and I think this is where it's going to crash. So if I do show stats, let's show stats for, and let's see, maybe this will work. Let's try the Philadelphia Phillies, because that's who we're interested in here. Where'd they go? Where'd they go, man? Okay, that's weird. Let's look at the Orioles. I have a feeling I know what's going on, but let's try. Okay, so there you go, Ken. There's their stats so far. There they are. And again, not sortable, I don't think. Kind of hard to tell at this point, right? Yeah, it doesn't look like they're sortable. Nope, not sortable. Okay, go to your standing. They haven't completed a game yet. Go to what? Go to your standings. They haven't completed a game yet. I don't know what that means. And okay, yeah, because they haven't completed a game. You're right. That's why I can't. Okay. Yep. Phillies were not present because they haven't completed a game. Yep, exactly. But there you go, man. Pretty nice. And then just search stats. So there's how there's how the Texas Rangers are doing. If anybody of your Texas Rangers fans out there, and there's your pitchers, wins, losses, stuff like that. So what do you get here? We get so their handedness, their position, games at bats, plate appearances, hits, doubles, triples, homers, hit by pitch, RBI, runs, stolen bases, caught, stealing, walks, strikeouts, average, OBP, OPS, slugging, and extra base hits. For hitters, for pitchers, games inning pitch, wins, losses, ERA, saves, complete games, batters face, hits, runs, earned runs, strikeouts, walks, hit by pitch, balks, wild pitch, strikeout percentage, and their team. So pretty nice. So for those of you that want to be able to do a season replay and keep stats, so at the end of your season, you want to actually have somebody who won the batting title. This is a nice alternative than to using something that's just giving you raw scores. But again, I will just remind you that and to always use so we'll just go ahead and run game sim here so we can just get the Phillies in here. Okay. Box score sim. Remember, guys, pick full game sim. Quick sim will only give you a score based on the player's traits, and it's not going to keep stats. That won't. So it's 1.25 seconds per game. Boom. And it's playing it. And the Phillies shut out the Expos 3-0. How about that? And so this is the one that's reproducible is the box score. So I will have to tell Craig. I wish he was on here right now, then he would see. But I will report this bug that when you try to show a box score and box score replay, the game crashes. So we know that this is a bug that has to be fixed, and he's been fast on fixing bugs. Okay, load this up. And again, we can show stats. And now the Philadelphia Phillies will be in here. There they are. Let's see how Ken's Phillies are doing right now after one game. Look at this. Mike Schmidt, 2 home runs. We gave him one of them. But anyhow, so there's Mike Schmidt doing pretty well. Steve Carlton, let me see. Ooh, struck out 8 in that game. How about that? So, yeah. So, Sean says, damn, this is awesome. Software working great after he woke his arse up, he says. One more ask. Leaders per chance. Boy. Yeah, so right. So Tex brings up a nice point that we talked about earlier, right? Because we could say Schmidt's starting off really hot, right? So if we go into our next game, the next Phillies game, right, we can actually boost him, give him a boost. So he's going to be just everything is going to be off the bat part of things. So he's not going to be affected by lefty like pitcher advantage, things like that. So yeah, we definitely could do that. So leaders, Ken is asking about. I'm guessing. Yikes. So let me see. So yeah, so I think this works just the same way, Ken. So find players by stats. All right. So all players, and we just know home runs, minimum required, let's say 3. And so I don't know, minimum. Wait a minute, minimum required, not at bats. Don't we want? Let's just do 1. Leave it alone, and then search stats. Select the quantity of stats you would like returned. All right, I thought I did that. Okay, minimum required. We only has 2, right? Oh, I see what it wants now. Wait a minute, hang on. I'm sorry. Top 10. And hey, there we go. Look at that. So Johnny Bench, Chet Lemon, Joe Charbonneau and Mike Schmidt, each with 2 home runs so far in the league. So there you go, league leaders. There you go, Cousin Ken. That's how you do it. So we're using this module now for searching stats. How we would do that, like from the front screen to, to just look at a player's, to find out, oh, what third baseman led all the way, between, let's say, 1965, 1995, and doubles, right? So you can get really down to, but that's how you do league leaders, is right there. Just do your criteria. If we played out more, we might want to have the minimum required home runs 10, and then how many. Maybe we just want the top 10, 25, 50, or top 100. Yeah, you're welcome, cuz. So at one time we peaked out here 21, 22. Again, guys, there's going to be some crashes. When you get crashes, report them. There's a way on the Pocket Pennant Run site to report crashes. And we'll go there now so I can see it. I'm chuffed. This has come such a long way. Such a long way. Okay. Just going to see this. So there's software issue form. And eventually it will load up. My computer's being wonky. There we go. So here we go. This is, please don't report bugs in the Facebook page, guys. Okay. Then detailed description, and if you want to add a file. So I could fill this out right now. TexAg says, so glad you're doing this. Very helpful. Welcome, my friend. So I'm not going to do this right now because, email and I'm streaming and shit like that. But I put in my email, and then down here, found domain software screen. So your version, right below click me and above copyright starts with a V. So you just want to copy and paste that. So let me get out of like all of this stuff, and I'll show you where to find your version. Okay. So you can find it up here, but you can also just go about whatever. You can also find it down here. Right? Just have this window over here, and you would just type this. Okay. Type it in, and then detailed description of issue. So in my case, it would be every time I tried to do whatever that was, I'll have to look at it again. Any reproducible bug. If you want, again, do a screenshot. I suggest buying or downloading. It's free. It's a program called GreenShot. Works better than just the old Windows print screen or Windows snip tool. It allows you to find or control, submit. And this is checked very, 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 very regularly. Stick Tap Sports Network, welcome in. Says there's going to be another sniffing update or just fixing bugs. Also, what you're taking the game engine. What are the strengths and weaknesses? Looks fun and worth the outlay. Well, thank you for asking. Thank you for asking, man, and welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming in. Okay, so most people who review a game start with the positives and go with the negatives. I'm going to go with the negatives, and then we'll go to the positives. All right. So negatives. Let's say challenges. I don't like negatives because it's like, it sucks. It sucks. Okay, so what I would like to see first is, for some bizarre reason, when you go to StatFacts, okay, let's go to StatFacts. This is something I've never liked about this game. All right, triples. So I don't know if you've ever been in here before or not, Stick Tap, but most of the baseball I play on here is dead ball baseball and 19th century baseball. Pardon me. So triples are very, very important to that time in baseball, pre-1920. Very, very important hits. If you notice here, I can't find leaders in triples. For some reason, they're not here. I've been asking this ever since version 2. Could you please include triples? You can't. Now, in the game, it will track triples. And in the game, players can hit triples. But I can't. If I want to find out who led in triples in 1908, I've got to go to Baseball Reference or wherever. So to me, that's a bit of a, I don't know why that was left out. Maybe because they're so rare in modern baseball. I don't know. I'm not part of Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. So while I understand in one respect and we'll get into the game itself, but this is all part of it. So I want to just put out some things that I'm not a fan of. I don't like the split as far as the databases go between 1920 to 2024 and the historical Major League Baseball, 1871 to 1919, when I'm creating my own custom sort of database that I want to do. So let's go back to team management and show you that part. Okay. So if I wanted to add a team from the league databases, plural, okay, I don't really, why do I need to I mean, it'd be nice to have the leagues, but I want to be able to just type in here, let's say 1908, and then select the Pittsburgh Pirates, but I have to select that database. All right. The other thing, and this doesn't make it bad. This is still a software that, by the way, is free. There are bugs. Expect bugs. Okay. You will get crashes. The nice thing about this game is, just like in Action PC Baseball, if the game crashes, you can actually just load the game and pick up right where you left off. So Out of the Park, thank God, is really super stable. I think in all the years I played Out of the Park baseball, it's crashed on me like 3 times. And it was because of something stupid I did. Another thing that I would like to see, and I'll show you guys here in the game interface, just because these are things I like to see improvements. Do anything negative about this? No. The price is right. It's free. I mean, you got to buy the game, but the game's excellent. Let's take the 1955 New York Yankees. So now this is one of the positives. Take any 2 teams in history, play them against each other. Pretty cool. You want to do a World Series, replay World Series, do it. All right. And then the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. Okay. All right. And let's add them in. Do I want pitchers to hit? Absolutely. And I'm going to select a starting pitcher. And, of course, it's going to be Whitey Ford. And his fatigue rating is a 7. Let's leave it there. Yeah, that's what I want to. There we go. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, Stick Tap. This game, again, most people, unless you're Ken Castro, Clinton Parks, or me, maybe a couple other guys, most people aren't even going to do anything probably past 1950. Before 1950, they're not. So, but if you're playing in the dead ball era, what happens with pitchers in this game is this game rates pitchers' fatigue. And granted, we're not in the dead ball era right now, so ignore Whitey Ford's fatigue rating for right now. But it's imposing modern baseball on older baseball. So the way around that is you have to, when you change your starting pitcher, you're going to keep the same starting pitcher. But so for most dead ball pitchers, you're going to make their fatigue rating 9 because they're still going to be subject to other rules of fatigue or when you should yank them. So that's something I don't like about Pocket Pennant Run, is that it imposes modern baseball on dead ball and 19th century baseball as far as pitcher fatigue. So that would be another area where it'd be really nice to see this. Maybe they can work on that. I don't know. Newcomb versus, there we go. So you can alter your visitor lineups. I can also, again, whatever I want. So we're ready to go. Print game day. It's going to generate the best lineup it can because these 2 teams only met in the World Series. If I wanted to replay the actual World Series, I would load up 1955 and just play the World Series. But let's play game day so I can show you a couple other things, or another thing I would like to see. All right. For left-right splits, here's where you have to look, right? He's a right-hander. We got Mickey. Okay, so mix a switch. Okay. What I would like to see now is if Mickey was batting left, he would be over here. This little sprite dude would be over here batting on the left side of the plate, which is awesome. What I would like to see them do is, so I don't have to look over here, I want the pitcher facing the other way if he's a lefty. That way I don't have to look. Oh, wait, geez, I forgot. Is this guy who's come in, is he a lefty or a righty? So that would be a quality of life improvement to just flip that around, or some indication. All right, that's really it. Now, as far as the positives, there are many. First, with the games I played with this, to be really, really honest with you, so Texags plays some dead ball. David Baseball Demo says this might be worth $14.95. I would say it's definitely worth the $14.95. Just as the companion, but also the things that you get. But let's talk some more about the game. The positives I like Stick Tap. Price is right, $14.95 for the print and play PDF version. You still get free access and forever updates and additions and everything to Pocket Pennant Run software. And so I should, again, be clear for anybody that's checking this out for the first time. Pocket Pennant Run Baseball is part of the Pocket Pennant Run software. So there's actually two games. You get the Cards and Dice game, and you get the Cards and Dice game as a part of a larger program that acts as a board game companion, as a stat researcher, a stat compiler, things like that. Now, you can also print and play cards. It's all, you can print and play roll dice. If you're playing Strat or you're playing playing APA, and you just want something, they'll just print some score sheets for you. You could even use the program for that, but it's so much more. Because as you're doing the board game companion, as we saw, and this is another huge plus. I've never seen any game that does this. Correct me if I'm wrong, except for Green Fox. This will update and score properly as you're playing the game. And that's whether you're playing Pocket Pennant Run or you're using the board game companion. That score sheet will update all the time. Okay, every player's card is right here for you. No shuffling cards. So if I was playing Pocket Pennant Run, but I didn't feel like printing out cards, having a stack of cards, moving cards around, they're right here. Same with the pitchers. You also get salient information that you need. So here we've got Don Newcomb stats for the 1955 season right here, for the Mick in 1955, right? Or whatever we picked here. Yeah, 55. And then their in-game stats, keeps track. You can also choose to play this thing. Yeah, future. No. So Texags, when I said that, no, that's in old-time baseball. In old-time baseball, they all are right-handed, the switch hitters. For some reason, when they coded old-time baseball, that was one of the big kind of flaws of the game, was the switch hitters in old-time baseball were all righties. No, these guys bat left. They will switch hit. Mix up there, batting righty against a righty. Don't know why. I don't know why. He just is. So I don't know if that's a bug, but I have seen, because I play games again, so I play older baseball. I've seen Max Carey batting from the left-hand side, but switch hitters in old-time baseball all bat righty, which doesn't make sense to me. Of course, you have the players' ratings and stuff right here. It plays a good game of baseball. It's pretty accurate, to be honest with you. And yes, all future updates are free. It's worth it. I mean, you've got huge. So let's run an inning of Pocket Pennant Run, just so that Stick Tap, if he's still here, can see, or anybody see how the game plays. So right now, these lines that you're seeing, we're playing advanced rules with all these colors and everything. If I wanted to make this game really simple, I go to settings, and I can go to normal pitching, normal batting, fielding, save settings. Settings have been saved. Now all the lines have disappeared. It does keep the color coding, which is nice, but now there's no range plays, no zones you have to worry about. You can see the left fielder straight away, center fielder, right fielder. And so we'll start with just a basic, we'll do top of the first using the basic rules. So we don't have to worry about warming up pitchers. We don't have to worry about range plays, anything like that. And we're going to roll the dice. All right, so how you read this game is everything comes off the red die first. Pitcher 12. All right, so this tells us to go to the batter die, which is a 7 over here, and everything's color-coded, which is real nice. Right, batter 7, and Mickey Mantles opens with a base hit, which should make, Dwayne very, very happy. Okay, because, see, this isn't a lefty-righty split, so it's a straight-up single. Select our hit, single, mix a board. Batter up. Now, we got Mickey on, and Mickey had some speed then, so we can go up here. And here's another nice thing. You can actually go in and create managers in this game. You can edit managers. So right now, this is showing Ebbets Field as a hitter's park. If you felt like doing some what if, or if you disagree, you feel this was a pitcher's park, it wasn't. It was a hitter's park. But you can make it a pitcher's park, and that will affect play outcomes. Really nice. Okay. Let me stop and check here. Refuse to do the PDF text rule book. Pisses you off. Paul's working on that, actually. They've asked Paul to write the manual. I'd love to help. I've offered, but if they don't want to take the help, you don't want somebody with a master's degree in this stuff. All right. Yeah, I would love to help out. I would love to write the manual. I really would, or write it with Paul. But there you go. So, yeah, I mean, I do agree. The rule book's taking a while. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so Casey Stengel's saying don't steal with Mickey Mantle. So if you click this little thing, it's going to say, well, now he's saying yes. Okay, I forgot I didn't have a batter up yet. So make your own house rules, like if you want. Do I want to steal with Mickey Mantle? Probably not. Probably not in the first inning. All right, Yogi Berra's up. So we see that but let's say I made a mistake. Let's actually steal with Mick. And if he's thrown out, we're going to reset the at-bat. So steal. He's going to try to steal against Campy. And he's safe. All right. But here's the nice thing about this. If we go up to options and reset at-bat, this will reset the current at-bat. So now Mickey's back on first. So you can take your play back just like you can in like in every cards and dice game, and only a couple digital games. So in out of the park baseball, you can't reset an at bat. But in Action PC, you can by just going back in and selecting that at bat again, and it will reset. So this is a nice feature and a rare feature for a digital game. But this is a hybrid. Okay, so we got a batter up here. Let's swing. All right, this is going to be a left-right 10, and this is a righty versus lefty, so there's not going to be any change here. Okay, so we do left-right 10, single 2 asterisks. So Mickey's going to make it to third on this one. We select hit, and we go here, and now we got runners at the corners. Hopefully, the game suggestion is not 100% going to give you the result recommended. It doesn't. Right. It really, really doesn't do that. But again, if I just wanted to make Yogi Berra steal, if I go to the board game assistant, I can do that. But we're not going to do that. All right, runners on first and third. Now, what we'll do in the bottom of the first of the Dodgers is we're going to switch to the advanced way to play this. And I like advanced better than this. Before, I played a lot of it this way to get to know the game. I would say play a few games of Pocket Pennant Run just to get used to the flow. Okay. Before we continue, again, this is for newbies to the game. Shows your current pitcher. Shows your fielders. Now, we're in the game day module, so that means it's just any team from one of the databases against any team in the other databases. So this could very easily be the 1884 Providence Grays against the 1949 Rockford Peaches. That's how so much cool you can do with this game. Or the 1934 Homestead Grays, Kansas City Monarchs, or the you get it, right? So, but if we were playing like in box score replay, so in the actual game, there would be a little kind of like some dots, and if whatever players might have been used in that actual game as pinch hitters, pinch runners, whatever, would be above a little dotted line you would see there. Same as pitchers. What pitchers would have been used in a historical game that happened will be shown. A lot of people, I know Clinton Parks is a big fan of using, if that player was in the game historically, I want that player in my game now too. Well, you don't have to research it. It's in here. If I was playing a box score replay game, that's in there. Okay, so you go to your bullpen, and this is where you can just if you're playing advanced rules, this is where you're going to start doing your bullpen warm-ups and stuff like that. But here you can look at your pitcher data for that year. What's nice about this is sortable. So we can look at that, their stats there. Okay, let's go back to current pitcher. Let's look at hitters. Same thing. We can go at our lineup as it stands right now. Who's on the bench? Again, there'd be a dotted line if we were playing an actual played game to show who was in there, whether they came into pinch run, pinch hit, whatever. Batter data for that season. And then, of course, we can look at, Yankees bullpen here. So maybe we're late innings and, you need to get a reliever up for the Yanks. Well, you can do that while you're at bat. Makes sense. Real baseball, you can do that. You don't have to wait till you're back in the field to do that. And then we can look at Yankees pitching data from right here. So you can always look at your pitchers and batters no matter whether you're hitting or you're out in the field. Okay? So great touch in this game. So Sean doesn't play. Okay, so Tex is like me. He only plays in advanced, and Sean doesn't. And you know what? That's cool. And the game's fun playing it basic like this. It really, really is. There's nothing wrong with it. I just like kind of getting into this one a little bit more because it feels more like, okay, wow, I've got to make this decision about a pitcher that I would in a cards and dice game. So Tex says, what I wish the game did was give you longer notice that your pitcher's tired. Currently, when you get that notice, you don't have time to get a reliever warm. So yeah, so it loses a rating. So that's very true. Tex is right. So a pitcher has a fatigue rating, which you can change for the game, or when you bring in a reliever, you can change his fatigue rating. However, what it doesn't change is the amount of runs given up. If he gives up 4 or more runs, he's fatigued due to runs. So you have to do that. Be nice to have a little reminder. But again, I think because the game is a hybrid, because this AI up here is not an AI really. It's basing on these tendencies of these managers, which they do give you all the formulas, by the way, for how they've carded every player, every manager, and you are free to edit anything that you want in Pocket Pennant Run. Another big plus. So if you disagree with a Strat or Appa card or an inside pitch card, tough. You can actually go in and edit these things. You can edit everything. Nice touch. Pretty ballsy for a cards and dice game. And when you print those cards out, those new rating stats, whatever, they're on there. Okay. Again, most people would argue, and I think they would be right, that, for these established game systems, they've already worked out their formulas. So, I've never, some people would say, well, I haven't run into a situation where Appa carded somebody badly or Strat carded somebody badly, But it's nice to have that option in a game where they say, hey, if you disagree with us, go ahead, redo the player, and it'll re-rate them. I like that. I really like that. All right, who do we got up here? Gil McDougald. All right, so Gil, 285 average, 13 home runs in 1955. Runners at the corners, nobody out here for the New York Yankees. All right, Newcomb winds and deals. And this is going to be off the batter dice, and this is going to be a 4-6-3 double play. How about that? Gil McDougald tries to beat the throw, but he is out. All right, so 2 away. Runner on third, and I'm watching the typing too. Some of the ratings in Action PC are quite questionable. But again, so the way Action PC works, as you know, John, is those ratings are generated from stats according to things I've heard. Now, again, Steve Tate would probably be able to talk more to the ratings thing than I can about Action PC. He's the guru, as much as Mike Garland, Mike Silva, Lansdowne Street are gurus for Out of the Park, as Dwayne is for Digital Diamond Baseball. But I do know you can edit an Action PC Baseball, so that's good. That is good. I've not seen this, and guys, educate me. I mean, have you ever run into situations, those of you who are longtime cards and dice players, where you've gotten a card that you disagree with, or do you think that cards and dice is doing it right? For the most part, they probably are, I guess. I like the fact though that you can go in and edit, and I can, if I don't like, I would be more inclined to be editing managers. Like I would say, well, Casey Stengel is, I don't know. Is he just, I think Stengel's probably going to play more of a small ball type thing. But let's say that they had Earl Weaver rated as a bunt B. I would say there's no way. Earl Weaver was about loading up the bases and hitting the grand slam. So I don't know how they've rated Earl Weaver. I'd have to look. But let's just say Weaver was a B, and I'd say, no, he wasn't. I'm going to rate him a C or a D for bunts. He's less likely to bunt. So this is just based upon all this stuff. Do with this what you will. I make little house rules that if the guy has speed and he's on first, I'll go ahead. If the manager says steal, I'll steal. But if it's in a situation where common sense says don't steal, then don't steal. Yeah. So John says in his opinion, so that has best ratings because they do lots of research for the advanced seasons. So there you go. So no need to do any editing. But here's a baseball game that's offering you that, and I think it's cool. You get plenty of play results. All right, let's get a batter up here. So Eddie Robinson here. All right, here's the pitch, and again, this is control 5, and it's a strikeout, and that ends the inning. So we'll just KO, and that's it. All right. So we go to the bottom of the first, and now we're going to change to advanced rules. So again, basic. There's no fielder repositioning, and you don't have to warm up a pitcher. So most of us that play digital baseball, I know for me, when I'm playing Action PC or Out of the Park or Baseball for Windows, I don't worry about warming up the pitcher. I just call in a pitcher. But when I'm playing this game, I love having to worry about, geez, is the pitcher warm enough? It builds that tension. And I think the reason I don't do it in the digital games is because I call them live. And so I don't want to sort of the pitch by pitch thing or the batter by batter thing. It feels too abstract that I almost want to do that pitch by pitch in a digital game. In a cards and dice game, it makes more sense to warm up pitchers. And besides, that's what you do, right? Okay, so you go up to options. All right, we're going to go to settings. All right, now we're going to choose advanced for everything. And it's going to tell you what these do, but I'll just read it to you right now. So pitchers that are warmed too little, that is less than 3 batters, or warmed too much, so that is to say more than 6 batters, will be penalized by a drop in level. So if they're warmed up too little, they're going to lose 1 in control over here. And if they're warmed up too much, they're going to lose 1 off the pitch column. So what happens when it says lose 1 is you will see, like if Whitey Ford or one of these pitchers starts getting fatigued, not only will this color change, but this card is going to actually move up. Guess what? That's nice because you don't have to keep track of that anymore. So in a lot of cards and dice games, you've got to make a note, right? Obviously, right? Because they're not going to have little sliders on them and stuff. Okay, Whitey Ford is now he's given up so many runs or given up so many walks or whatever. He's starting to get fatigued. This game will tell me not only is he getting fatigued, but it's going to drop in the proper columns, whether he's been pitching too long, I've left a reliever in too long. Okay, batting, fielding. So batters tend to hit the ball to their pull side. Switch hitters spray the ball evenly. Fielders must be positioned and may make range plays. And range plays are subject to defensive penalty if the speed is less than A. Okay, so I'll show you what that means. So we save settings. Settings have been saved. Now the game looks completely different. So first thing you see here is this little white die. So this die corresponds to the zones on a baseball field, on this baseball field. So this is zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So everything is split up into 6 zones. So on range plays, why that's important is because you want to be able to position your fielders in these zones such that they have a better chance to make range plays. So, yeah, I know that we had to put Mick on the Decades team. How about it? Oh, Ricky Henderson wasn't in there either. I know, we had to put 2. You're welcome, Sean. I'm glad, that you guys are enjoying what I'm doing here. So let's talk about positioning fielders, guys, because all right, first thing, color. We are strong. This is a strong outfield. Okay. We are strong here with the Yankees in the outfield, right? We're good. But let's say we wanted to, these guys are going to be able to cover a lot of things, but let's say not. Let's go to fielders. And if we go to set fielder positions, let's look at this. And you get a nice, neat little reminder here of everybody's zone. And let's look at, God, there's nobody really bad, right? We're average in the left side for the Yankees, and we're good and excellent over on this side. But let's say we wanted our shortstop. Let's move him to zone 2. So we go to shortstop, all right? And we're going to put him, where is he now? So zone 2. This is zone 3, save changes. See, and everybody's kind of, I hit the wrong thing. Let me do this again. Damn it. I'm an idiot. Okay. So where's my left fielder? I don't need my left fielder over there in zone 1, so I can put him in zone 2. All right. I don't need my right fielder having to try to cover all this ground, so I want him in zone 5. So I'm going to put over in zone 5, save changes. See, they bop around. So now any ball hit to right, if this guy was red, right, I definitely want to have him probably over here and then move my center fielder over here to compensate for this guy's lack of range in the field. So that's why you want to, and I did move my shortstop. I need to move him back over here again. Let's go back here. So you can see how that works, right? So he's decent. I don't need him. He's got a lot of range here, but you're going to get a second baseman coming all the way over here. Whoops, nah. So just set my fielder position. So right now, my shortstop is in zone 2, and I want him in zone 3. Save changes, and there we go. And then just keep working things around. And it's, as I'm setting fielders, it's setting fielders as well. Okay. I think we've spent enough time on that. Okay. So there we go. Back to normal. Now, except for this. But we're going to go ahead and now play an advanced inning. Then we go to the top of the second. We use the board game companion. And then we're going to wrap it up. And we'll take any questions for the audience. The white die, Sean, is basically another visual reminder. So it's going to tell you what zone the ball is hit to. And if that's, whether that's even or odd, is going to depend upon normally who's going to make a play. You'll see what I mean. When the situation comes up, I'll show you. But it also, you're going to get a little line that will show you what zone the ball's hit to as well. So let's go ahead and with Duke Snyder leading off. Wow, dangerous leadoff hitter here. Okay, so there, perfect. This is not a range play, so I'm glad Sean asked the question because this allows me to clarify some things. So you notice that this is 4. Now, we baseball fans also know the position 4 is a second baseman. This doesn't mean it was hit to the second baseman. And this down here, this white die is also telling us it's hit to zone 4. Okay? This does not correspond to fielder positions, obviously, because it only goes to 6, and right fielders are 9, right? So now we need to look at our play result. And this is just like it was in the basic game. So we go to 7, and this is a left-right. So this is a lefty-lefty. So Whitey Ford is going to get the advantage of this. Okay, so either way, it's just going to be a ground ball, and we see it's to second base. So this is going to be a 4-3 because we have to drop 1 when the pitcher has advantage on lefty-righty. Okay, and so in this case, we would drop 1, but we can see it's still a ground ball. And this doesn't come in where you're going to see left-right. I think coming into a lot of play more than anything is going to be when you have rolls of 8 and higher, especially power and park, because these make a big difference. Power and park are the same. That you use park ratings come off of power, and I'm sorry I'm jumping all over the place, guys. I'm trying to explain this the best I can. But here's the thing: when you have a park check, and let's say, for instance, that this blue die was a 9, all right, instead of the 11, because we're seeing all home runs. So if this was a pitcher's park, all right, and this was a park check, let's say we had a park check, all right, so let's say it said this was an 11 down here. Let's say this was an 11. So I went that, or no, 12. This was a 12. Let's pretend this is 7, 12, and I know I'm overcomplicating things, but trust me, 7, 12, and 9. So we'd say 7, right? And then we go, that's a left, right, 12. Oh, that's a park check. And then this die over here says 9. Okay, well, first, on a park check, I want to see what this is. So on a 9, if it's a hitter's park, right, Duke Snyder is going to gain 1. It's a home run either way. But let's say this was a pitcher's park. Neutral park, nothing changes. Hitter's park, it goes up 1. If it's a pitcher's park, it goes down. So instead of a home run, if this roll on this die right here was, if this was a pitcher's park on a roll of a 9, we drop it down to a double. So see, you have double, double, and then there's 2 doubles there. So it doesn't get too crazy. But you can see that difference here, right, between a double and a home run. If this was dead ball, these would be triples, by the way, for anybody curious, okay? So basically, after all of that, what we have to review is we have a left, right, and we just know that this is a ground ball 4-3, right? So we just hit ground ball 4-3, records the out, batter up. Okay, Frank Keller is up there. When the lines disappear, we know that this is going to be a walk, a strikeout, something weird like that. So this is going to be a 4. We see this is control roll 11, and this is a walk. So walks are under hits. Okay, now you can see here, nice thing that was added in the Helix update was the color coding for the runners and for the fielders. Okay, so yeah, exactly, Sean. White, the white die, as Tex is telling you, right, what zone the play is in, plus you get the little number too, which is really cool. When I first saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, it's showing me a 4, but it's a fly to right field. So how is it a fly ball to right field and simultaneously, a grounder or pop to second, right? That's what that is. It's just another reminder of zone 2. Okay, so we know we're not going to steal with this dude. And we can look here. This guy is going to be safe on a roll of 11 on an attempt to steal, or if there's an error throwing down, and you see the second baseman or shortstop covering second on the throw down from home, right? So, but if I wanted to, when we get to board game assistant, we could make Frank Keller into sliding Billy Hamilton if we wanted to. All right, so we're not going to steal with him. Batter up. Another nice thing about the game is if you forget and you roll the dice without putting a batter up, it says the current batter is the same as the last batter. So nice little reminder. I've always loved that about this game. You see everything's changing up here. Right? Gil Hodges in the 3 spot shows you who's on deck, Carl Furillo. Okay. All right. Here is the pitch from whoever I have pitching, Whitey Ford. So again, see Sean, zone 2. It's not, we haven't seen a ranged play yet. You'll see it. You'll see when that happens. You can't miss it. Provided it happens while I'm doing it in this. All right. So again, we have an 11, always starts with the red die. All right. And it says go to the batter die. Well, again, if you forget, everything is color coded. You'll get used to this really quickly. Batter 8. And this is a single, runners advance 1 base. So boom and batter up. Runners on first and second, 1 down. Whitey Ford in a little bit of trouble. Here's the Reading Rifle, Carl Furillo. All right. And This one is going to be a batter 3, fly to center. That's it. No range plays yet. We haven't had any range plays. Gotta love it. Okay, so 2 down. I guess Whitey Ford heard me say that, and batting 5th now. Here's Campy. Okay, lines disappear. So that's a strikeout, right? Why do I know it's a strikeout? Pitch 4, that's a control die. It's a yellow. 3, it's a strikeout. Okay, boom. There we go. We'll play this until we see a range play, and then we'll switch to the board game assistant. Hopefully it happens soon. Okay, so here's Hank Bauer. Andy Carey waits on deck for the Yankees, and this pitch swung on, and this, okay, now we got a park check. Okay, so we got a park 9, so we go to the power, we go to 9, and because this is a hitter's park, this goes up 1. It's a home run. If it was a neutral park, it would stay a double. If it was a hitter's park, it's only going to get down to a double plus 3. That's what these are. But Bauer homers to right. So glad we got to, after that long-winded explanation, it actually happened. Okay, so run scores. Let's check our Smexy score sheet. And there we go. Keeping track of everything. There's Hank Bauer's home run. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. See? Cool, huh? Nice. All right. And then what I always do is close the score sheet. And every time you open it, it will update. So just close it. You don't have to leave it open. Okay, batter up. Yankees with a 1-0 lead. Here's Andy Carey now. 7 home runs back in 1955 for the Pinstripers. There it is. We finally got a range play. So on a range play, we can see here that is in zone 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 is telling us that, and the white die is reminding us. But how do we resolve a range play? We look at that 9. We go over here, and this is a fly ball tag. So that's exactly where we're going to put. So we know that this is Duke Snyder. All right. And he's got to make a range play. So what this is simulating is this is hit out toward the right side of center field. Duke Snyder, right? He's got to be running for that ball, sinking line, or whatever you want to make it in your imagination. We hit 9, and then we go here, and this is going to be F8T, right? Because that chart showed us a fly ball and a possible tag. Even though there's nobody on base, I like to do that. Okay. That's how we do it. If we keep playing and playing and playing, I could, but I'm just going to have to explain it to you. So pitchers have a nice visual indicator of fatigue once it happens. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So park effects. And Ebbets Field was a hitter's park. This thing was exactly one city block. It fit in a city block. That's why they built it up as much as they could, Sean. And then when Walter O'Malley had plans and everything for another park in Brooklyn, Robert Moses turned him down, and O'Malley said, fine, we're moving to LA. And the rest is history, right? But yeah, this was a hitter's park. This was actually, there was no way they could build it up anymore structurally or out. It occupied one city block in the Flatbush section of Brooklyn, and definitely a hitter's park. Anyhow, so when your pitcher starts to, when he reaches that first fatigue drop, this is going to go to yellow, this box. But if he keeps going, it's going to go to red, right? It won't go to blue. There's no blue for pitchers as far as their fatigue rating goes. This under Newcomb here is his defense rating for fielding balls, stuff like that. This red has nothing to do with this. So then when you have your guys up in the bullpen, and I'm going to just warm somebody in the bullpen just to show you. So let's say we have Sandy Koufax, even though Nuke's pitching a fine game here, right? So let's go ahead, and we're going to have warm-up pitcher selected, okay? We're going to go back to current pitcher. So there's a 0 here after, which they stayed in Brooklyn. No kidding, huh? So there's a 0, and there's no color for Sandy Koufax, which you're going to see this change. So let's go to batter up now. And here's Billy Hunter. Okay. And this one is batter 6. And this is going to be fly ball center field. So you don't even, if you want to do FAT, you can, or just call it an F8, nobody on base. Okay, 2 down. Now look, here's what's happening. Notice that now Sandy has a 1. Remember, our key numbers are 3 and 6. So we don't want to bring our reliever in before 3 batters. This is warning us he's not ready, but there's a 1. Nice peripheral visual indicator. Okay, batter up. So now we have Dick Tettelbach. All right, swung on. All right, let's see what it is. This is a batter 1, and this is just going to be a liner to third. So we just do L5. Okay, now 3 outs, change sides. Brooklyn comes to bat. Now, what I could do, see, notice when I click on bullpen, even though Brooklyn's at bat, look at this. So Sandy's still there. I can cancel the warm-up. It does give you like an extra, like while you're at bat, it's sort of like simulating, okay, the pitcher's not like really trying to gas it up. So you're not going to get penalized here. But you could, if you cancel warming up Sandy Koufax, then this would reset to 0 and you'd have to start all over, which we're going to. I just wanted you to see. Now, when the pitcher's ready, this will have this number, this box will be green, and then he'll be ready to come in and just bring him in. That's it. But we're going to go ahead and cancel the warm-up. You can have 2 pitchers. So again, if he's already started warming up and you cancel warm-up, batter count will start over, warmed up again, and continue, yes. So there. And we can get back to batter. Well, so yeah, so glad you could see the numbers, right, Tex, because with you being, with you dealing with color blindness, at least you have the number indicator as well. I wish that this worked for you for like base runners and stuff like that, and the fielders. And I know that one of the things that you can do that is, I think, like a grayscale type thing, right? Because that, so for color blindness, grayscale, you could still like, maybe it could be like a no color and then a light gray and then a darker gray and then a black, because it's not like a red. I don't know if you're red green colorblind or what, how, because I know there's different types of color blindness. So all right, guys, now board game assistant. Okay, so we're not going to make this game count anyhow. All right, so here's Pee Wee Reese. I like Pee Wee Reese. I've wrote up something on some game, and again, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. So Pee Wee Reese gets himself a double. Okay, so Pee Wee Reese is on second. Bring up a batter. Now, again, I'm no longer playing. Okay, so you're used to these things now for a degree. Okay, well, that's cool. All right, now we're just playing. And let's say we're playing in a game and we're going to roll for a steal. So we roll for a steal here on Pee Wee Reese. Now, you're going to notice when you first click on Pee Wee Reese, you're going to say, but wait a minute, hold it. I still got to roll a die and click steal. So let me show you the difference. In Pocket Pennant Run, if I want to try to steal with Pee Wee Reese, we'll say, are you sure you want Pee Wee Reese to steal third base against Yogi Berra? Let's say, yes, I do. Okay, Pee Wee was safe. Okay, error on the play. Now Pee Wee's going to score. Way to go, Pee Wee Reese. All right, so 1-0. But let's reset that at bat. Okay, let's reset it. Pee Wee's all the way back at second. Now I want him to steal. But I want him to steal because I'm playing inside pitch pocket or inside pitch strat app payoff Pine Tar Fall Classic Baseball all at the same time. So I'm rolling for the stolen base, but I'm doing it on my board game companion. Right here is this tab. Boom. There we go. And we're going to have Pee Wee steal since he did legitimately steal. And we could even do the steal with error and have him score if we wanted to. But we'll just do a straight steal. And he's always going to be safe. So now Pee Wee is a third. We can even make him steal home if we wanted. So you have a lot of latitude here. Okay, so here's Don Hoke. Don Hoke's up now. Okay, I've rolled the dice on whatever games I'm playing. And Don Hoke, just because you guys know I love triples. There we go. Now we got an RBI. And Hoke's a third. And the little guy standing here shows that the batter scored. Okay, so here's Jim Gilliam. Jim Gilliam, unfortunately, he's gonna ground. He's gonna like just sort of little kind of bloop here in front of the catcher to an assist. Oh, geez, how did I do that illegal play? I shouldn't have done that. I did that wrong. My fault. So let's do this. Runner on play. Runner on third holds. The play is at first and records the out. Batter up. Don Newcomb. Don Newcomb is going to do, Don Newcomb, he was a pretty good hitting pitcher, damn it. We're going to give Nuke, man. We're going to give Nuke a hit. We got to give Nuke a hit. So we're going to let him do a single to right. Do I want Newcomb to stretch? So let's do this. So what we've done here, point out how you work with this board game assistant. Let's say in your game, it says he's single to right, but you want him to advance. Now, you don't want to be like, praying to the random number generator gods in 2 games. So you would click no. Okay, run scored anyhow. But let's say maybe for some reason when you roll the dice and it says, hey, Newcomb decided to stretch. So let's say it's a late inning game, just if we're going to pretend. So we can do that, right? We can just advance the runner. So there you go. And again, we haven't touched these dice at all. The only thing you've got to do in here is just batter up. Now, what's missing? Let's see. So let's get runners. Let's get a runner only on first. So we're going to get him home with a double because I want to see if we can do a hit and run play in this yet. Okay. If not, you would have to work around it in other ways, and that's simple enough to do. But let's see what it does. Okay. So let's have Duke Snider hit a home run. Can you tell I like the Brooklyn Dodgers? Okay. So Duke Snider homers, 2-run score. All right, now we're going to put Frank Kellert on first. So Newcomb or Whitey Ford deals, and I know Dwayne is probably having a cow right now. All right, so Whitey Ford walks him. We normally aren't going to hit and run with somebody this slow, but this is going to be, I just want to see for illustration. So we go to hit and run. Okay, so you can see that the board game companion isn't set up for a hit and run. So again, this is board game companion Lite. So it's still, as Craig said, there's going to be more added to it. So to create that hit and run situation, you basically can do a number of things. Go to board game assistant. You can just advance the runner. Okay. And then you select whatever hit he might have had. So let's say it was just a single. All right. So you can do that. Oops. Yeah. What am I doing here? Did I not advance? Oh, the current batter is the same as the last batter. That was my fault. Okay. Batter up. There we go. All right. So, and then that would be one way to do a hit and run inside your game. Another way would be, again, if your score, that's going to kind of mess up the score sheet because, if in your score sheet you wanted to say hit and run, it's not going to be there in a board game companion that I can see. So some things do still have to be added. Okay. Again, you want a sacrifice bunt or bunt for hit. You can do that. Just call it a bunt for hit or a sacrifice or whatever. So you can do that. But again, manual outs, this is where you really have a lot of freedom for triple plays, fly ball. So if you're not seeing over here exactly what you need to see for your play, it's over here. Okay. So let's go ahead and cancel that. Not much else to show. It covers not everything, but almost everything, every situation that you could come up with. There's more to come. I think it plays a great game of baseball. I think this is an amazing That they're offering this for free blows my mind. Hit and run. Let's see. Nope, it is not. So in other, you got wild pitch, balk, hard ground ball, catcher interference, runner interference, pick off, and a rundown. So you'll notice pitch out's not in here yet. Will it be? Hopefully, because some games have pitch outs. So Sean says, in regards to scoring a play, yes, sometimes I don't know what the hell to do. Man, on second, I roll a double play with a play starting with the second baseman, for instance. Don't know if to have a double play or not. So you're welcome, Tex. So, Sean, I've run into that, and it's what I've done even in some cards and dice games. If they don't, I kind of just use baseball common sense, so I'll look at the, if it's a really good base runner, maybe he's not going to get caught napping, or maybe he got overly aggressive. So that's kind of the nuanced thing. That's the best I've been able to do for any cards and dice game. And again, maybe somebody like Ken Castro. Hey, you're welcome, Stick Tap. I know that was a super long explanation, but my takeaway is you got $15. Buy the print and play version. You get access to the software. And that these guys are giving this away, that this is free. I mean, good God. The cards that are printed are really, really nice. So let's do the cards. I mean, they're good. So let's do the St. Louis Cardinals, and let's create player cards. Oh, I have to enter a league name. Okay, I can do that. Test League. We just call it Test League, right? St. Louis Cardinals, and create player cards. Okay, and I can print all players, or I can just pick whatever players I want to. So what's really nice about this is there'll be another way for you to like let's say you were making some kind of weird what if where you could you could just pick certain players and just print their cards and keep moving ahead. So maybe a fast way to, like, if you were doing a bats type league pre or post expansion and you had, okay, I want to get all the players from this team and that team or whatever. Would be another way to do it. Let's do this. Do I want to include the batting cards for pitchers? Yeah, why the hell not? Player cards were created and saved to your game sheets. So if I would go to game sheets, player cards were successfully created, PDS in your game sheets folder. So all the important things, this is for cards and dice dudes. Cards and dice dudes. Game sheets folder. This is your like home for everything super cool. So we go to game sheets here. All right. Working on it. And here we go. Mixed Test League player cards. This is what I called it. Okay. And there we go. Okay. There are the players. These are the 1934 St. Louis Cardinals. And you could print these out on whatever kind of nice paper stock you wanted to, cut them out, and do another team, whatever, and you got it. You've got it. And I mean, again, this is super cool. If you don't want to go to this trouble, I will show you one other way to do it, which is really nice. Also, there's Excel sheets, by the way. This works with this shell. I should also mention, for those of you that use GreenShot, this works with GreenShot or GreenFox. GreenFox is a way. It's a Excel sheet that's strictly meant for playing baseball, and it will actually play a game of baseball for you. You have to do, it's all manual, but it's a super cool Excel application, and this will integrate directly to and from GreenFox. That's what I do. I wing it, Sean. I mean, I think somebody who's a longtime cards and dice player would probably say, I wouldn't wing it. This is what I would do if I'm playing this game that doesn't offer me. But that's what I would do, and that's what if I remember back to my undergraduate days when we were playing. If I was playing Status Pro and Solitaire, now if you're playing somebody else, they're going to make their own decisions. If I was playing Solitaire, I would think, okay, Vince Coleman's on. Just kind of wing it. let's go back to the Pocket Pennant Run site so I can show you guys something else super cool that they've already done for you. If you don't feel like creating team cards, this is why I also say buy the damn game. Just buy the damn game. Just go to software. It's going to redirect me, and you will get a password. Luckily, you don't have to sign in or anything. You got a password. PDF roster cards. Check this out, man. So let's go to MLB cards and rosters, and there we go. We can print out just team cards, player cards, Excel rosters. So let's just go to the player cards and look at this. Look at all these seasons. Is that not glorious? Every season from 1920 to 2023. And 2024 seasons in there. It's the only one you would have to print from the software. But they're all here. They're all here. Just go into the directory and you can just load them up, print them out. How about that? So Sean says he entered a strike, cut, stealing double play with 2 out and caused the game to bug out. Doesn't recognize it, made a boo-boo and not allow it. Instead, it just locks up. But luckily, again, if the game crashes, you can go back and jump back in. But yeah. But I love this, man. So there, I didn't have to download them. I can just show to you guys. So what did I pick here? So there's the 1927 Boston or 1929 Boston Braves. There are their cards. There's the card backs or whatever. There you go. Pretty cool, I think. Pretty cool. Obviously, this is a project. This game's getting a lot of buzz. There's 700 and some people in the Facebook group. I'm hoping that Matt and Craig make some money from this, but they're kind of just giving away the store here in a way. And you get everything. You just get everything in this, and it plays a good game of baseball. And you get a great piece of software with it that still has some issues. Not perfect yet, but what I've seen with following this game is that Craig Harris is on top of this, and Paul Fay is such a thorough tester. He'll run this thing 500 times, literally, to try to iron out any bugs. So the support is superb. You got a very, very helpful Facebook group for Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. You're not taking any risks here at all. The physical game, we'll just talk about that for a second, is really, really, really nice looking. It really is. Let's go to the base game set, just because we should end it by reminding you guys that this is a cards and dice game. Okay, so this is the box, and you can see the dice to scale. This literally will fit in the palm of your hand. It's that small. The card stock that it comes on, if you buy the pre-printed cards, really, really nice card stock. Nice, it's just very nice, very colorful. I like it. I can tell you, I'll do some research for you guys if you want, and I'll give you some resources next time we talk about Pocket Pennant Run, where to buy actual good playing card stock, because that's what these come on. And again, I said before, you guys know I'm a sleight of hand magician, and these cards are so good that I would actually use them in a professional magic routine. They're that good. They handle that nicely, and there's nobody in the world pickier than a sleight of hand magician when it comes to cards. The card stock is just amazing. It's just beautiful. You can also, so the base game is $24.95 for the physical game, $24.99. As we said, the print and play PDF is $14.99. Either way, you get access to the Pocket Pennant Run software, which is free. If you're playing modern, so-called modern era baseball, then you can get the mat, right? So the mats have all the plays that you need, rare plays, stuff like that. Nice neoprene mats. I bought both for the dead ball and modern area, and they adjust for both. Okay. There's the dead ball one, and these are going to look different, obviously. And then the print and play is $14.99. And what can you show with a print and play version? Nothing to show. It literally is what it is. So now there you go. So Cousin Ken says maybe he'll give his companion a shot when he begins his 1901 season. Cool. That's high praise. Yeah. It says, yeah, I'd like to see what you think. Yeah. He is the replay guru, and he's one of our cards and dice gurus here. So there we go, guys. 2 hours talking about Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. I love it. I've been waiting for this new version to come out. Again, expect bugs and report them. Go back to PDF roster cards, and they're all here. So, if you're like those of us who play old time of baseball, well, here's all your old time of baseball. It's all here. Ken's going to do 1901. So there they are. There's 1901. Pretty groovy, I'd say. Pretty groovy, man. I like saying groovy. I'm not old enough to say groovy. I didn't grow up in that. But all my favorite things are like that. There we go. There's Mike Donlan. There's everybody the whole season ready to rock and roll. Not that I know you're not going to play it on Pocket Pennant Run, Cousin. You're going to use the board game companion, but just telling you there, guys. So you don't even have to use the software. They went the extra step and created all this stuff for you, which is real nice. So, any other questions before I go? Before we end this, how's this game turn out in regards to accuracy, realism? So, I haven't played an entire season, John, to be honest with you, because, because each update is like, okay, there's going to be another update coming out, whatever. But I found that game-wise, it plays pretty well. I haven't seen anything anomalous like somebody like Rabbit Moranville hitting like 20 home runs or something like that, or hitting 3 home runs. I haven't seen anything crazy anomaly. It plays pretty well. I think, and to be completely honest, right now, I think it plays the more modern baseball better, mainly because of the fatigue thing out of the box for pitchers in the 19th century dead balls. Now, you can change fatigue rating. Now, what I haven't noticed, and I have to play some more dead ball games to see, John, would be how this handles the higher count of errors in the 19th century and the dead ball era. Of course, as the dead ball era progressed, you started to see errors going down because gloves were better, or they were trying to do better work with the ballparks and stuff like that. But I'm kind of happy with just the one-offs I've played with it, or the few series I've played with it thus far. So, again, why I also want to give this game a lot of latitude is because it's still being developed. It's also really cool that they show you how they've rated the players, which is super, super cool. Let me see if we can see that from StatFacts. It's such a minimum investment. Let's look at Hank Aaron. And let's search him. Okay, so it's not this window. There's one somewhere around the software where you actually can look at the players, and they will give you their ratings formula. So it's in here somewhere. I don't know where it is. So you click on help. You get the quick guide for the Pocket Pennant Run software manager, the stuff that it does. This is not up to date. It's not up to date. So use this as a guide, but kind of use this long rambling video. Paul Fay has some great, his FAC, I'll put it in the chat. Sports Desk with Paul. because he does more focused stuff than I do. And this guy deserves love here because he does a great job, and he is this game's only beta tester. Okay, they've never sold as a finished product, so yeah, got to cut him some slack. I mean, if you were still having, and again, I get like PC Replay Baseball. That's not just, I don't know how many people are developing. I know it's a small company too, but I don't play PC Replay Baseball, but I'm guessing, it had its share of bugs at the beginning and stuff too. But this is getting more stable each time. Sometimes I think it's more because of my impatience that I wish the updates would come out a little more quickly than they are, but I do understand Craig wants they want this product to be as stable as possible. And Paul is very, very much into doing a lot of beta testing. But when you start looking at the size of this thing here, database of over 316,000 players and nearly 200,000 as played lineups, print out pre-filled scorecards, generate custom roster cards, simulate seasons, make your own fantasy teams, make your own fictional fantasy teams, play any two teams in history until the schedule generator comes up. So you find a free schedule generator online, or you do your own seedings by hand. There's plenty of freeware websites that will let you do seedings. You play tournaments in this thing. It's really a bargain all the way around. So TexAgs says that PC Replay is great for Boardgame Assistant, but you have to purchase their seasons individually, right? Here, this is a one-time purchase. So a PC Replay Baseball, somebody was showing me more expensive baseball than PC Replay, but man, their seasons, I can't justify it. Not with games like Out of the Park Baseball and Action PC. It's hard for me to justify that kind of money for a digital product. For cards and dice, sure. And in fact, for cards and dice, but I've seen games that are like, wow, that's ridiculously cheap for a set of cards. So yeah. Dave Gardner just went to Appamaster. Yep. Having a ball with it. Yeah, fun stuff. John, Appa's fun, man. I know you're a Strat guy, but Appa's fun. And I've played some Strat, and I liked Strat when I was back in my undergraduate years. Played Strat, Appa, mostly played Status Pro, but I like Stratomatic baseball. I do. I was always absolute shite though at Strat Super Advanced. That really made my head explode. So we usually played Strat Advanced and Appa Master. But looking at the rules of Strat Super Advanced, I'm like, oh my God, that hurts. So you guys that play Strat Super Advanced, man, big doff of the cap to you guys. Oof, that's hard. To me, Strat Super Advanced is nuts. Tim, Clee baseball fan, he's like, nothing to it. These things Strat has so much comes right off the cards. Yeah. So I don't like games that make me go to this chart and that chart, the other chart, this book and this, and roll that dice and pray to Loki and burn sage while hopping one-footed to my bathroom blindfolded. That a game's going to lose me that way. So why I like this one too is its flow. It flows nice. It's left to right. It's how we read. It's left to right, up and down. So John plays advanced. Cool. I played it. That's what I played in college, undergraduate school, I should say, or whatever. Guys, I hope you found this helpful. I know it was long. I know it was rambling. But again, I love the board game assistant. And I hope you guys will give it a go. Maybe you'll find some creative workarounds for things like hit and run and hit, whatever. But again, just you could do a hit and run as just stolen base, because really a hit and run is a steal play in a run and hit. It's a steal play. Difference is run and hit a little bit more aggressive. The run and hit is a straight steal, and the batter happens to swing, right? So a run and hit is different that way. But you can just do stolen base and single, whatever. And if it advances the player, just knock them back a base. So there's workarounds for it right now. Would like to see some more things in there, though. Definitely. Yep, you do have to check the power column for both park and power results. Just remember, if it's a park, you have to check whether it's hitter, neutral, or pitcher's park and adjust accordingly. If it's a hitter's park, it moves one down, down toward the bottom. So one increase in the power die. If it's neutral, it stays the same. If it's pitcher's park, you go one less on the power die. Left-right splits. If it's lefty against the righty or right against the lefty, that's just normal old baseball. If they're the same handedness on a left-right result, pitcher gets the advantage unless it's a switch hitter. Switch hitters aren't affected by lefty-righty splits at all. Even if the game isn't showing where the hitter is, he's a switch hitter, they're not affected by that, which makes sense. That's why you love switch hitters, right? Baseball's had a couple switch pitchers in its past, but there's no switch pitchers. No way for switch pitching in this game. Yep, exactly. It does need a rule book. I know the Paul's supposed to be working on it. I'm going to ask Craig again. I'll show him my academic credentials, Phi Beta Kappa, da-da-da-da-da, all that stuff, and say, look, I'd really, I'll send you some examples of my writing. I would like to help write the rule book. Maybe they're waiting because Craig wants to get this to the point where then, when you have a rule book, then, okay, there's enough. We have enough in the game now. It's robust enough that we can then just do addenda to it. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I'm not part of the company. I wouldn't ask a penny from them. I would write the rule book. I would do graphics, everything for them. If they wanted me to do graphics, I would be chuffed to do it. So I'll write to him and see. And if not, meh. Okay, so Sean asks, so park is really about lefty right? No, park is not about lefty righty matchups. So I'll show you. We're gonna create a situation, and we'll just do a box score replay, and we'll go back to 1980. Okay, so let me show you that. I love questions. So let's go to our 1980 season replay, and let's load it up, and let's continue. And we're just gonna pick Cardinals Pirates. Okay, and we'll print and play it. We're not gonna play the whole game. I'll come back and let it do its thing later. I do want to show you guys a little trick, though, because I didn't mention this in this 2 hours of madness. Then I'll get to Sean's question. And Texas probably already ahead of me and answered it. So right now, let's pretend we're playing old-timey baseball. So you see John Candelaria has a fatigue of 7. Well, if he was pitching in the dead ball era, he wouldn't be fatigued at 7 innings. So the way I get around it is I go to, and we see he's the away pitcher, so the Pirates are playing in St. Louis. So what I would do is change away starting pitcher, but I'm just going to select Candelaria, and I'm just going to change his fatigue rating to 9. And when I click enter, now he's a 9 fatigue. That's how you get around this if you're playing dead ball baseball in this game. Okay, when you're playing a game. All right, so we're going to do the same. We're going to set them back actually, because I'm not going to make these guys fatigue 9s. That's just not done, right? So there, he goes back to a 7. Okay, let's go to the game, and let's set up the situation for Sean. And that's okay that you're tired, man. It's all good. All right, we're playing in a neutral park. But let's go ahead and let's create a situation here. I wish I could. This is where I need to have a webcam set up so that I can just put the dice where they need to be. So to create a situation, all right, where it's going to be a park check for this hitter, just pretend, keep in mind that the yellow die, we're going to make it a 12 12, 11. Okay. So we can see here that it's a 12 off the batter, and it's a park check. All right. But then I said 11, and there's a reason why I want it to be 11. Okay. So our dice are 12, 12, 11. Red 12, yellow 12, blue 11. We're playing in a neutral park. So on that result, Omar Moreno, who only hit 2 home runs in 1980, would hit a home run. Okay. If that roll came out that way. In a hitter's park, it goes up 1. So the park check for hitter, Moreno still has a home run. So let's say Bush Memorial Stadium was a hitter's park. These cement ashtrays were pretty neutral. But let's just say for sake of argument, right, hitter's park. Let's say this was a pitcher's park, Sean. Now we look at power and park are the same thing when doing these park checks. If this was a hitter's park, this drops from a home run to a double. That's all you got to remember. So neutral stays where it is. Hitter goes up 1. Pitcher goes down 1. That's all. Okay. Yep. So yeah, exactly. Let me read it to make sure. Yep. Neutral go to the result. Batter's park go to a higher result. Pitcher's park go to lower result. Absolutely, Sean. You got it, man. You hit it out of the pack. Going over lefty-righty splits again. So lefty-righty. All right. So we have Bob Forsch. He's a righty. Omar Moreno's a lefty. So Forsch would have, in the game, he would have no advantage on a left-right. So we roll this up. Oh, look at that. Isn't that spooky? We got a 12, 12, 8. Moreno's like, yeah, watch me, dude. All right. So this is a 12. So this is a park check. All right. And this is a park check 8. So right now in a neutral park, it's a double. Okay. On the 8. So let's say there was so this would be right now. This would be fun if we had a runner on. So let's say we had the previous batter, if there was somebody up before Moreno, whatever, that previous batter's on first. So Moreno hits a double in a neutral park. You see it's a double and 2 asterisks. So you're going to have runners on second and third. However, if this was a hitter's park, look how it changes. Now it's a double plus 3 asterisks. So what that means is this runner on first is going to score because he's going to advance 3 bases, and Moreno would have a chance to stretch the double into a triple. So that's how that plays out. So it's either going to be a regular old double or it's going to be a 3 RBI double and a chance for Moreno to stretch to a triple, which kind of makes sense when you think about Moreno as his speed on the base paths. That would line up that he would have these opportunities here. Okay. So that's how that works. Yep. And again, this wasn't a range play. Range plays will come up as a window and say they're a range play. So, all right. One last thing. If something comes in that says outfield or infield on this die, and it doesn't come up with a range play, then you've got to look at this, at what zone the game. We didn't see that come up in the innings we were playing. We will when I do a full game sometime, not tonight. Then you have to go to odd numbers, even numbers to pick your zones. So in this case, right, so we've got 1, 3, right, 5. So if it says outfield and it rolls a 5, right, and this just says outfield, then we're going to see where this line goes, and you would just pick 5. If it's a 4, you would go here, or an even number. If it's a 2 and hit that way, right? Even numbers, odd numbers, even, odd. Just think left, right, left, right, left, right. You don't see those too much, and you're usually the play result's going to tell you anyhow what it's going to be. So you're going to get a ground ball, and most of the time the ground ball, if it's an out result, is usually going to be there. But you will find times when you roll triple dice in here, that's when rare plays come up on here. And if you have the mat, it will show you what that rare play is. But the game will show you here in a little window what the rare play is. So if this is 12, 12, 12, I don't know what that is without pulling out one of the mats, but it will give you that. So it might be, hard ground ball, and it's going to be an outfield assist. And when that happens, you get a guy like Michael Vallier that doesn't have a lot of speed coming down the base paths. Right fielder could get to that ball and gun him down at first. You do see that. It's rare in baseball, but you do see it. Outfield assists work just as you would expect them to work. Oh, absolutely, John. So John knows I'm beta testing Out of the Park 26. So, oh, you're welcome, man. And again, Tex, you guys are so very welcome. As far as Out of the Park baseball, yep, guys, there's a super chuffy, cool, new, groovy, new game mode that is, yeah, I'm calling it a new game mode because I don't want to give anything away. And it works super well now with another new feature that was put in last year. And I'm like, this is so cool. And I'm not giving, I'm just telling you, they did some nice, more graphic things with the interface that I think you guys are really, really gonna like. So far, I'm really, really loving what I'm seeing. So, for those of you who, I can't say anything else because I can't break an NDA. It's playing really well right now. Really like it. Yep. All right. I can't think of anything else I can answer as far as game day, as far as Board Game Companion. Just remember to hit that tab, please. So select hit. All right. So Moreno's at first. If you want to steal, you're in Board Game Companion. Hit this, and then select what you want to do. Okay. So if he's in a rundown, so out. But if your game says he wasn't caught in a rundown, reset the at bat. Oh, there's an error loading my game data. So I would have to reload the game. So I would say if you just have a rundown, just do the rundown in your game and record him out and then advance him or remove him is the better way to do it. Okay. Instead of just because that rundown, then even in the board game assistant, that becomes pocket pennant run baseball. Let's select a hit here for Omar. Oops. Can't put Omar up there. Select a hit. Oh my God. Okay. Geez. This thing's being a pain in the ass. All right. So we're going to let Tim Foley have a hit. Boom. And once again, we're just going to if Tim, again, go to Board Game Assistant, your game says he was caught stealing. He's out. That's all. 2 outs. Batter up. Dave Parker. And in honor of the Cobra. Boom. There we go. Bucks lead the Cardinals 1-0. Yeah, I'd love to hear that idea, and I could pass that along, John. Cobra Khan, exactly. It'd be really neat, and I don't know how you could do this. If this is something they could build into this game, would be a way to quick play a number of innings. Do you think that was? I don't know. For me, I think that would be something really cool, you guys. I don't know what you think, but I think it'd be like brilliant to okay, I'm holy shit, it's an 11-0 game. I just want to just play it out, right? That would be really cool. If that could be a future option, maybe. I was the one who was talking about the steal button, and thanks to Paul, he got it to Craig, and that's why we got the steal button and all kinds of, the steal button. Because I was like, oh my God, you can almost do Board Game Companion, but there's no way to do a straight steal. Now there is. And then, of course, double steals again. They for themselves. You got 2 guys on, just make them both steal. However you want to do it. Anybody that has it, if you could do me a favor, and you want to just try it, because I don't have any room to set up. Like I have this game, but I mean, the only other cards and dice game I have is that one Jester showed on his channel a few years ago that he hated and I love. But I don't have any room to set it up. So somebody that has this, maybe roll up a game, and maybe next time we have a chin wag, tell me what your experience was. Because again, I was probably oversimplifying a lot of stuff. Maybe that would be really helpful then for the games developer to say, oh, okay. But Paul Fay did a game of this with History Maker Baseball. Yeah, he finally got in about time. Oh, yeah. So the new Hall of Fame picks, pretty interesting. So Billy Wagner finally makes it in. That's good. Ichiro, no shock there. What you guys, the thing I'm pissed about, though, so I'm sorry, Mario Rivera, right? And I'm not going to, right? He was great. He's a relief pitcher, gets 100% of the vote. How does somebody like Ichiro Suzuki, who played the field, who ran, who hit, who did it all, he was one vote shy of 100%? Is it because somebody just wants Mariano Rivera to be the only player in the Hall of Fame to be 100%, or what? What is that about, man? How does Suzuki, how can you be a baseball fan and not recognize that this guy is not only Insta Hall of Famer, but should be 100%? I'm like, are you serious? Who's the sports writer who was a dick who didn't vote for Ichiro to be in the Hall of Fame? Sabathia, I don't know. I mean, he's in, so there you go. But and then of course Dick Allen, took too long to get him in. He's in. Dave Parker. So I would say a good class, and I'm glad Billy Wagner made it. I'm glad Billy Wagner. Yeah, I don't know, Sean or Tex. I don't know, but I read on ML Breaking News whenever the Hall of Fame class was that yesterday that was announced. Whenever it was, but it said Ichiro was one vote shy. So he's in. We all knew he would be, no brainer. And I'm glad Billy Wagner got in. I'm glad he finally got in. I think Billy Wagner certainly deserves it, and so does CC Sabathia, of course. But Wagner, this was his last year of eligibility. Then he would have had to waited for. They don't call it the Veterans Committee anymore. I don't know what they call it. Something else. So glad Billy Wagner's in too. So there we go. There's really no other questions I can answer about this that would be, except to say to have fun with it. There are certain things that you still cannot do with the teams that you create, but more is coming there. The lineup generator has been improved. So talking about things outside of this now, lineup generator has been improved. Ways to create your own teams, really nice. It's just doing it all up. To check Wagner's career stat. You can do it right in this game. John DFW, right here. We can do that. We can look at Billy Wagner right here. But I know what you're talking about. You want to check with the depth of Baseball Reference. I get it. I certainly do get it. So, but yeah. So excited. Let's see. How far are we away from that magic? Oh, my God. We are just about 2.5 weeks away from the Super Bowl baseball extravaganza day, February 9th. So hopefully you'll join us for that, guys. Have a lot of fun. And even if you're a football fan, come in afterwards. We'll be talking baseball, and I know guys will be coming in talking about who won the football game or whatever. It's all good. Because it's my New Year's Eve, because it's one of those like, yep. Because then that week, pitchers and catchers report, baby. Can't wait for the baseball, not the Super Bowl. Rigged. Sean, that's definitely, I love that rigged. When I see that in Robert's chat, those guys are all about the rigged. Everything he does is rigged, they say. He's rigged. Crazy. So anyhow, I'm going to jump out of this. And how many 3,000 windows do I have open there? Back to the opening screen. So yeah, there it is. Now, okay, I'm going to look at. Let's look at Billy Wagner, at least his stats in here. Yeah. There's Billy Wagner. Let's look at his stats. Boy, what do we want to look at here? So, I mean, these are some pretty nice save numbers here for Billy. And then we could look at his like totals and everything like that. But good stuff. Now, this game's still not doing ERA plus. I don't know why. That is the other big thing missing. So triples and ERA plus. Don't know why. There's no ERA plus in the sky, but should be. So regular ERA here, but ERA plus is really the kind of, that's the thing, right? So Billy put up some good seasons. Obviously, Baseball Reference is going to show you the black ink and stuff, but I think definitely deserving. Yeah. The league does like Swift and the Chiefs talking about football. So I don't even know who's in the Super Bowl this year. I have no idea. Do we have things here for? Guess we don't have relief pitchers here for stats. Yes, wins, losses. So I don't know how it's doing ERA plus here. So I can search him here, but it doesn't show him in there. So I don't know what the deal is with that, or if that's something he's going to add later. Because for hitters, triples don't even appear here, but ERA plus does for pitchers. So I don't know why. Wish I could tell you. Oh yeah, there's saves. So we could look at how many years Billy Wagner had more than however many saves. So that's, you guys can do that. Oh, so conference championships this weekend. Okay. All right. So any call, I know this is going to be rare, but I'm going to ask a football question. So in the chat, anybody, even you folks lurking out there, who's going to be in the Super Bowl and who's going to win? And there's my nod to football. There it is. Wanting to know. And don't worry if you get it wrong, because this is a baseball channel anyhow. Yep. Pocket Pennant run, baby. I love it. What I might do in one of the upcoming broadcasts when we come back to Pocket Pennant run is to work with Game Sim, because I haven't really touched on this too much. This is where you can set up conditions for relief pitchers and stuff like that. And I want to really experience how that works. And now this has a lineup generator that I can agree with. This will be the next area of the game. I can't really tell you a lot about this right now, because I just can't be arsed creating my own lineups at this point. Boink. But that will be the next thing. So Texag says he wants Washington and Buffalo, but he predicts the Chiefs and the Eagles. Then he wants the Eagles to win. So people will go absolutely crazy batshit happy around here. So in this area of Pennsylvania, this is really, it's more Eagles than Steelers, but the Steelers, I think, have a larger fan base all over the NFL from what I'm told. You find Steelers fans all over the damn place. Sean says Kansas City, Philly, and Eagles fans will go nuts when they lose on a bad call. So should be fun. I know there were the people that I'm staying with are absolutely huge Steelers fans, which means they hate the Baltimore Ravens, right? I like the name of the Ravens because of the Edgar Allan Poe reference. But anyhow, so what? The Steelers get knocked out, and then I understand the Ravens got knocked out in the same way they knocked out the Steelers. So now these folks are happy again, because even though the Steelers are out, they're happy because now the Ravens are out. So it makes one's head spin. So I got to ask you guys another football question. Is it true that the Minnesota Vikings have yet to win a Super Bowl? Have they ever won one? Because last I checked, they didn't. And I know didn't the Steelers play them in one or something like that, or I don't know, but they never won one. And I was just curious because I had a friend of mine in a band I was in was a huge Minnesota Vikings fan. I mean, he'd be like, we'd go to gigs, and he always had to wear purple for the Vikings, and it was pretty weird to see some dude up there. So they're 0-4. Okay, so they're still 0-4. Okay. Because the other guys in the band would tease him because they were all football fans. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, your team sucks, man. Because they were Steelers fans, right? And they're like, well, we got however many Super Bowls the Pittsburgh Steelers won, and they would get on Russ like big time. And what was worse about him always being in purple, and the rest of us were just wearing whatever we wore, is he was our front man. So he was strictly, I was keyboard player, singer, our drummer, drummed and sang, and then we had, guitar players. But you had this dude always out there and always had to be in purple. And there's something very bizarre about having your front man dressing in purple all the time. It's kind of embarrassing. And I was always happy to have my keyboards to hide behind. So they lost to Kansas City, Miami, Pittsburgh, and Oakland, which doesn't have any professional sports. Well, once the A's leave, poor Oakland, huh? No more major sports for them. Okay. Well, you know what? They're going to win someday, right? So I predict that the year that the Cleveland Guardians win the World Series, the Kansas City or the Minnesota Vikings will win the Super Bowl. You heard it here first on the Beatles Eternally channel. Remember that, football fans. And then I shall be immortalized in Canton. I want to make a special thank you, folks. I usually don't talk about channel statistics, but I reached 600 subscribers. And so my thank you is to everybody because I didn't do it. Rather, this community made a fun place where people can hang out, get tutorials on games, watch some games, have a chin wag, just observe the train wreck that is Beatles Eternally. And so thank you one and all for allowing this little humble channel to grow despite me taking 2 years off from it and having a very erratic schedule. 600 people seem to either be morbidly curious about the channel or truly are having a good time. And so thank you. And it's all about you guys. And God, if I would ever reach monetization level, I'm never going to do that. This will always be a home, a little corner for baseball cranks who just enjoy my weird approach to the game where it's secondary. Thank you. Thank you, Texags, and thank you, Sean. When will the Maple Leafs win a Stanley Cup again? Have they ever? Is this a trick question, Sean? Because I don't know crap about hockey either, except I'll watch it because I like that it's really a defensive game. But, and I just like watch goalies, man. They have to be the bravest men on earth to have a piece of rubber that could kill you skidding along a virtually frictionless surface at ridiculous speeds. And how fast goalies react, that shit is crazy. Fun. So thank you. Well, cousin, and a special thanks to you because I was going to quit doing this a few times. I was just like, screw this. Well, you guys know me better. Fuck this. I'm hanging it up. I'm done with it. And Ken's like, look, hang out, man. Even if it's just one person watching, it was maybe... And what he said to me was awesome. And I think this is for, I hope I'm speaking for every content creator on here. He said, look, man, he said, you don't know that one person tuning in. You don't know what's going on in their life. And maybe they needed that baseball game or whatever it is that you did that day. And that made me stop and like, whoa, you're right. It's because I was really down, as I started the channel, it'd be like 2 people watching. But you know what? Sometimes I'm on here now and there's 2 people watching, but you know what? There's 2 people that hung in there and maybe they needed that day. So Ken, that's why I call him the heart and soul of this channel. Cause I was like, this is bullshit, man. He's like, no, don't quit. So thank you. He says that still holds today. And and that's for our Red Sox fan. I mean, the big channels in our community. I mean, Al is a small fish too in YouTube land, but Al's a big fish in our community. He's got over 2,000 subscribers and Al busted his ass. I remember finding Al when he had less than 600, 500 subscribers, wherever he was. And Al deserves it. But you know what? Al's a good community man. Got friends of the channel, stuff like that. He's the original Chinwag guy. Yeah, he doesn't call it that. He calls it chat with Al, but the sincerest form of flattery is imitation. So I'm so chuffed to be part of this great community. All of you guys, man, all of you guys, from guys who have been with me at the very, very start, like D. Scott Howard, like Cousin Ken Castro, like Clinton Parks, our Red Sox fan who helped me get started with this, to guys that came along later, RJO Network, and Sean. Sean and I have locked horns, but you know what? We always come out as friends, man, always. And I always appreciate him being here. And all you guys, your baseball knowledge, and how much you have taught me about this game that I love so much in the community. And you guys, just to end it up here for a minute, because this will be the last speech I make about, at least till I hit 1,000. Then I'll think of something else to say. But, or till we hit 1,000, is this. I'm going to turn around what Cousin Ken Castro said. Sometimes I've been going through some rough times too. And 2 of the years that I took off of this channel, there were 2 separate years. One of them, I think, was 2020. I really didn't do anything in 2020 in this channel, or very little. And the other one, I think, was 2018. But when I came back to broadcasting, and after each of those breaks, there were still some rough times I was going through. Just recently, as a few weeks ago, and it was like, I really just need to hang out with these guys. And so I really thank you guys, without knowing it, just hanging out and interacting and whatever, and have just really helped me through a lot of stuff, and you don't even know that. So it works the opposite way too. I need it, and I appreciate it. So I thank you for that, cuz. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yes. And also thank you, Sean, for the people that left us. May his memory be eternal. Robbie Wartburg. Robbie, sometimes it was always a race to see who would be first in the channel. And so many times Robbie would be first. He would beat Ken in by about like 2 minutes or something, or beat you in by 1.5 minutes or whatever, whoever. And Robbie was, for as quirky as a dude as he was, and I would tell him right to him, man, we used to talk a lot offline, like over Facebook calls and stuff like that. But he was such a good guy, and such a truly, you meet in your lifetime, very true, very few pure souls. And there was a purity and an innocence about Robbie, sometimes the border on the, on naivete, but he loved gaming and hated doing baseball research. But I'll tell you what, I believe that Robbie is in heaven, and he is with us here in every broadcast. And my fondest memory was when we replayed the 2011 World Series using Out of the Park Baseball 22, I think it was. And his Rangers beat the Cardinals. And he was loving it. He was so chuffed. Man of many projects. So, and Robbie always took it in stride and laughed. And I think a lot of the times, Robbie would catch on. He's a smart guy. I had the opportunity, as I said, guys, to talk to him a lot. And Robbie was smart. Robbie was he was almost a savant in a way. Yeah, really smart guy. But I think deep down he was taking the piss on all of us, because Ken and I, we'd be talking on broadcasts. So, because Robbie wanted to try to play in Baseball for Windows, every game in a replay of the 1908 season, every game of every team, both leagues. And so we figured it out. The average time of a Baseball for Windows game is about 55 minutes. And so we worked out. And I said, Robbie, this is going to take you years. I know, but I'm going to do it. But then Robbie was kind of like Rube Waddell. So somebody would come in, and Robbie, you're listening from heaven, man. This is all out of love, brother. Somebody come in, new game. Robbie would buy it. Yeah. Then why now I got a project going. So he had the Pacific Coast League in Diamond Mine baseball. He had I don't know how many damn projects in baseball for Windows. He for some reason wouldn't play action PC baseball. He just wasn't a fan. But all these games and just many projects and huge projects. Yep, love it. But God bless him. Yep, memory eternal. Yep. He says, he says, now I have all the time in the world. He does. Yeah. Ken. So Ken says, he says, one day it was Pacific Coast League, then a draft league, and it was really funny. But, in this community, we always just, if anybody completes a project, that's such a huge thing, isn't it? I've got the, I'm not as scattered as Robbie, but I've got 1911 going, and I'm talking about the stuff on the channel. So I have 1911 going in baseball for Windows. I've got the integrated mod thing going in Out of the Park baseball. 1906 going in old time baseball, and then offline I'm doing some stuff in 1934 Cardinals and Out of the Park Go in 2015 Pirates, and then all of that stuff is sleight of hand. But I do try to keep, So, but God bless him, man. God bless him. And he blessed this community with his presence. And the thing I miss is, remember this one, cuz? We would type this. Yeah, I do. Yeah, you missed it the other day. I did a 1906 game in old-time baseball. Remember this, cousin? We got to do it just for once. Remember this? We would type this in the chat. Do you remember? Because he would ask these questions, and so why we would say that? Yep, Saber. There we go. Is Robbie was a member, as Ken is a member of Saber. I am, as a lot of you guys are Saber members, and you know that everything if you probably dug deep enough in Saber, you could probably find out about Moonlight Grams, who was only up for one game in the majors. You could probably find his bathroom habits somewhere. I mean, that's how deep Saber goes, right? And so Robbie would ask these questions, and I don't know, Ken, I think it was you that started it. And you're like, Saber, Robbie. So every time we just Saber, because he never used his membership. It's like, Robbie, just go use your Saber membership. This is costing you nothing per year. What is Saber? It's so cheap, right? Oh my God, it was frustrating. He just never would. I'm like, one day I typed into chat, I said, look, Robbie, I'm going to type saber.org. And he still wouldn't go, man. He's like, oh, it was just a question. So, yeah. So, yeah, remember saying he was looking to draft a pitcher, and he says, is this young guy any good? Oh my God, I'll never forget that. Now, to his credit, we're not making fun of him, gentlemen. Robbie came into it saying, look, I know nothing about baseball before, really the 1990s. And he said, I want to learn. So what Ken and I didn't realize, though, is you take it for granted that you're going to know who the hell Cy Young is because there's an award named after him. So, and here's another quick story about Robbie, who is still subscribed to this channel and always will be, right? He's one of my 600 subscribers, is when we were doing the first Howie Shanks League. So that's the sort of spin-off of the McGreevy League, and it's the forerunner of their Field of Dreams League. And when Steve Tate had put in the Negro League file that he did based on the Major League equivalencies, there's a pitcher, and you all know who it's going to be. It's the pitcher everybody knows about the Negro League, so Satchel Paige. And this is one of Satch's great years, all right, that Steve had Satch carded for, whatever. And everybody thought Robbie's, that's it. It's Robbie's turn. He's going to take Satchel Paige. And there was 18 guys in there that night, 18 of us or so in that draft night. And So like there's no noise right here, right, except me talking. But this was profound. Robbie did not draft Satchel Paige. And I've never actually like had this sort of visual input of a chat of people being shocked. And it was the weirdest thing. I can't remember the year, Tex, but he passed on Satchel Paige, and everybody was like, and so he picked whoever he picked, and then it just went on, and then then all of a sudden in the chat blew up. You didn't draft Satchel Paige. You didn't draft Satchel Paige. It was crazy because the guy he drafted was somebody he really didn't know in his team. But it was, I think we all hit him because some of the guys had picked up on the original Ken Castro meme. And I do believe, Ken, you were the first to do it, the Saber thing. And I remember distinctly a few guys typing in Saber, Robbie. It was amazing. Yeah, I still have his text too. I will never erase those. He and I would communicate through Facebook. I would never ever get rid of those. Are you kidding me? So he's here. John says he once drafted this random player who was just terrible. Can't remember the name. Yup. And the other thing he used to love to do, that shit, was he would make sure to get Hannes Wagner all the time because he knows Hannes Wagner is my favorite baseball player of all time. And Robbie would do everything he could and would get Hannes Wagner. I think he did it to me like 3 times. So, yeah, in the McGravy League, some of the dudes he drafted, I'm like, what the hell? Remember he tried to do, and this was kind of fun, inventive, but it didn't quite work. Remember he tried to draft a team based on the Lord of the Rings? Because there was some guy, who's the player? His last name is Aragon. So I'm going to draft him because it sounds like Aragorn. So he was drafting according to the Lord of the Rings. It was really funny. But man, I'll tell you what a good guy. What a good guy he was, man. And what can I say? He just such a bright light in this community. He was treated kind of poorly by a YouTube creator on here, which is still I'm finding it difficult to forget that and let it go. But he was very much such a bright light in this entire community. So yeah, love it. And I love the fact that when I look at that subscriber count, whatever it is, one of those is Robbie and always will be. So that's pretty cool. How Naragon, whoever it is, yeah, great memories, huh? We did a game, was it last year, in honor of him? So, and he was the Baseball for Windows ambassador. And John Herson should have. I wish John Herson. My channel wasn't, our channel, this channel here wasn't big enough. John Herson doesn't know me from Adam, but I think John Herson, the owner of Apple, would have smiled at Robbie because he would always be chatting up Baseball for Windows. Didn't matter what the hell I was broadcasting. He would manage to work Baseball for Windows in the conversation one way or another. And I always loved that too. I thought that was cool because he discovered it on this channel during the very first Super Bowl thing that we did back in February of 2019. That's the first year we did it on this channel. So, yay. And I never missed a year doing that. So this will be, number 6? Baseball Extravaganza number 6 this year. So thank you, Robbie. And with that, we're going to close it down, guys. Thanks, one and all. A lot of people lurked. We capped out at like 21 tonight for a little while. If you have any questions about Pocket Pennant Run, questions, again, there's a Facebook group for it. Ask questions there. If you have problems, please, use this up here, software, report a software issue. If you have any questions you feel I can answer, put them in the comments. I do read comments and I do respond to them as much as I can. And I'll gladly, if I don't know the answer, I'll research the hell out of it for you. My thanks to Sean, to the heart and soul of this channel, Cousin Ken Castro, to John DFW. John, when you have time, no rush, would you mind putting could you put something in the Ned McGreevy Discord So the Pocket Pennant Run maybe could have a channel if that's possible. Could have its own little, hashtag Pocket Pennant Run when you can, dude. I'd appreciate it. Tex Ags, man, thank you always. Always a treat to have you here too. I know you can't, you're not always at every broadcast, but thank you. As you said earlier, you watch a lot of the videos. So thank you so much for being a part of this family that we've all made together. We're building crazy stuff. And Stick Tap Sports Network. Hope you'll come back again. I always do ramble though, so warning, warning, warning. It's what happens, man. David Baseball Demos was here. Good to see him. He's jumped on the Out of the Park bandwagon, which makes me very, very happy to see David play that. RJO Network was here for a little while with us. Dwayne Martz was with us, first one in the ballpark. Clinton Parks also was here tonight, and I'm pretty sure I got everybody. And that's it. All right. You're all welcome, guys. Until next time, we'll see you around the batting cage. Yep. Six Taps' his new channel just subbed. I'm going to sub to him when I jump off here. So, theme song, Ramblin' Man. There you go. All right, guys. See you around the batting cage. Good night. Don't forget, February 9th, we're going to do so much baseball. You're going to want to puke. All right. See ya.